All right, aloha and welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining in. Happy Thanksgiving if you're celebrating it. Welcome to another one of our, well, it's kind of, this is actually kind of special. This is kind of the first time that we've done this. This is one of our team tarot, but today is going to be a special collaborative inspirational team tarot reading, meaning I am joined by myself and some fellow amazing leading members in the community on air. So fellow leading members, let's just do our regular routine and say hello and make some noise and say happy Thanksgiving to all the people tuned in. We love you. Thank you so much for being here. We love you guys. Awesome. Beautiful. Awesome. All right, thank you again everyone for joining in. We're going to get right into some reading. So this isn't like a podcast this week. This is just going to be a nice little chance for us to just be able to hang out, to be able to practice doing something fun, something exciting here in the community. So what we're going to do, we're going to practice doing some tarot readings as a collective. So every single reading that we're going to be doing here will be for whoever happens to be tuned in. We're going to take turns doing tarot readings. Then we'll chat about it for a little bit. I don't really have too much of like a strict like routine on how exactly this is going to happen, but the basic idea will be us talking with everybody here in the YouTube and then doing some tarot readings, doing like a little meditation into each reading and inviting people like fellow leading members. You guys can kind of adjust the rules on this based on how you want to do this, but just to keep things smoothly, I'm inviting people to just be able to focus on that intention of show us what we need to see. So rather than it being like specific questions right from the chat, maybe you guys want to do that. I don't know, because the idea here is everybody has like their own unique kind of style for doing tarot. When we usually do this, I found it to be very, very effective if we just collectively do a little meditation together before each draw, and to use that collective intention, show us what we need to see. So with that idea, we'll kind of go from each of us. I'll be doing some readings, and we also have Amanda, Zentia, Kristen, and Abbey who are going to be doing readings. And then we got Khadaura and Z who are also here to be a part of the discussion. And we'll kind of chat about it in between as we go from one reading to the next. So if you guys are tuned in on YouTube, we'll drop some 1111s in the chat if you guys can just hear us okay and you're ready. And we'll, if there's little syncs with the audio, we'll sync that up as we go, just to be able to get it all perfect for your viewing convenience. If the audio and the video is slightly out of sync, we'll get that synced up as we go. And yeah, with this one, we're not going to do like mini games between the readings, but however, I do want to be able to invite every person who's tuned in to make sure that they're connecting and supporting the various conscious creators that they see on the broadcast. So for those of you who may be new to this community, if you're new, drop a 333 in the chat. This is a Paradigm Shift Central community. We are a team of people who are actively helping assist with the shift in consciousness. Particularly in our community, we help support and bring together fellow conscious media creators. So all the creators on air here up top, we're all fellow conscious media creators. You've probably seen our content online here or there. So many of us also provide additional services such as one-on-one tarot reading sessions. So the idea here is that this is a great way for us as a community, as a team, to practice providing value for you, for everyone, for us here as a family in the theme of Thanksgiving for today. And then for you to be able to connect further with the fellow leading members who are sharing their readings, and maybe even reach out to them for a private reading as well, or even join on their Patreon or any other services that they may have to offer as well. So cool. All right, audio doesn't look like doesn't need to be like adjusted too much right now. So we got 14 people tuned in on YouTube. For those of you on TikTok, click the link in my profile. For those of you on Kristen's TikTok, hey, come over to YouTube if you feel like you guys want to jump over to YouTube. So, all right, okay. Let's just figure out a little bit of a routine. I'll do the first reading just to be able to kick things off. Who wants to do the second reading after me? Like, and literally we'll just kind of rotate. We'll go through as many as we can. Okay, Zentia, do you want to? Okay, we'll do Zentia, and then did Kristen want to go after Zentia? And then, okay, and then who wants to go? And then Amanda, can you go after Kristen? Is that cool? And then Abbey, you can go after Amanda. That's cool. Okay, cool, sweet. All right, well let's get things rolling here. And again, just a quick shout out to the fellow creators on air. We've got Amanda, we've got Zentia, we've got Khadaura, and we've got Kristen, and we've got Abbey, and we've got Dr. Z. So awesome. All right, okay. Let's get things rolling here. So thank you again, everyone, for joining in. So I'm going to start off just by using the regular tarot deck. Sorry, the regular tarot deck, as if there's such a thing. Like a tarot deck, opposed to the other decks that I got that are like oracle decks, which we'll get to. Like, it'll be tarot and oracle tonight. And what we're going to do here, we're just going to do a quick little meditation. We're going to drop into our heart space, focus on gratitude. I'll invite everybody here to collectively focus the intention, show us what we need to see. And then from there, I'll just split the deck. So that's where, if for those of you tuned in the past, sometimes we do like this whole mini game thing. For today is just keep it moving smoothly. We'll just individually, as facilitators, we'll just split the deck personally, and then from there we'll just kind of tap into seeing what card is pulled. If people want to read from the books, they can do that. If they want to read from the book and then extrapolate on it, they can do that. Again, this is practice. This is a chance for us to be able to connect, hang out with community, and to be able to tap in and see what messages are coming through from the universe. And for myself, when I do these readings, and maybe it'll be a bit different for some of the other creators here, I always remind people that for me personally, I don't do my readings necessarily as like fortune telling or psychic readings. It's more so a way for the universe to be able to see more of ourselves and for us to be able to perhaps get some additional ideas, clarity, and inspiration to be able to help assist us on our journey. And for those of you who may be tuned in, I want to be able to let you know that I just updated my Patreon. So now at the higher tier level, you guys are welcome to be able to support at that level, to be able to have monthly one-on-one tarot sessions / oracle sessions with me as well. So I'll post the Patreon link in the chat for my own stuff. It's also in the YouTube info, and we'll post the Patreon links for the other creators as we move through this as well. So if you guys are interested in working with me one-on-one, know that there's limited spots available for that position on my Patreon to be able to do monthly one-on-one tarot sessions, and your support is appreciated in all form. And when you join at that level, you can join on air at the $11 level. You can join on air as a leading member and be a part of these on-air broadcasts, etc., etc., etc. Team chat, Discord, links in the info. Okay, let's get into the tarot. Here we go. So all right, so just inviting everybody here to just take a moment just to be able to join us a little bit of meditation. And let's have some fun. So this is the Ananda tarot deck that I'm starting with here right now. So you can see this is like traditional. It's a tarot deck. It's a tarot deck, but it's still like pretty cool. Okay, all right. For everybody here, just go ahead and join us in this little meditation so that you too can collectively project your intentions and add your intentions. So perfect. All right. Okay, here we go. All right, so for everybody here, just go ahead and just take a moment to be able to join us in this simple but intentional meditation. Just inviting everybody to be able to connect with their breath. And go ahead and straighten up your spine, open your chest, relax your face, and just begin connecting with your breath. And for everybody here, just taking this moment to be able to connect with our heart space, connect with gratitude, connecting with thankfulness, gratitude for this beautiful community, this team, this tribe, this family. And just feeling gratitude for the messages we are here to receive, the space we have created, and all the amazing people who have shown up, who are here with us. And as we have this gratitude in our heart, just inviting everybody to be able to focus their intention on the intention, show us what we need to see. Show us what we need to see for us, the individual, us, the team, and us, the collective. And as you focus in on that intention, I want you to speak it with your heart, speak it with your mind, speak it with your words, speak it with your soul. And for everybody here, just go ahead, hold that intention in your heart, take a few more breaths, and I'll just do some quick charging of the deck, and then we'll split the cards. So, oh, I guess type your, gently open up your eyes and type your wizard noises in the chat. And so as I charge this deck, we shall see what universe soul messages the cosmos has for you and me, for I am grateful from now until the eschaton of eternity. Bloop. Pew, pew, pew. All right, the first card that we are pulling here for tonight's very special collaborative team tarot broadcast is Spheres 3. Oh, I just realized the zoom's going to be all backwards, isn't it? Okay, so it says Spheres 3 at the bottom. It's going to be like three seer backwards for everybody else. Okay, let's just open up this deck. I'm gonna move through this as swiftly as possible, that way so we can just get into the other people who are sharing on air here tonight. We'll keep in mind that, I mean, yeah, I don't want you guys to feel rushed, but let's kind of practice on keeping them contained, concise, whatever the word is. Otherwise, I mean, unless you guys want this to be a 7-hour broadcast, which maybe it will be, but we'll see. Okay, all right, so I'm just going to explain the image of this card just literally. And again, this is just kind of my format. Other people, other creators, I'm excited to just kind of see how you guys want to do it as well. So just visually looking here, 3 of spheres. So literally just explain the image. We have this beautiful image of this kind of like sort of semi-transparent, etheric, almost cathedral window with 3 spheres up in the middle, and then you can see these 2 big open kind of like almost like stained glass window sort of archway type things, and you can see it's kind of just like out in the open with these beautiful trees, and you got like a little bit of the foundation down the bottom plus some beautiful skies up there above kind of fading into the night sky. Again, that's just me literally explaining the literal. So I'm going to read through this real quick, and then I'll riff on it with a little bit of additional inspirational channeling coming through, channeling any additional inspirational wisdom coming through, and anything that I share while we're reading this during this reading, if it resonates for you, go ahead and drop an 1111 in the chat, and please feel free to also write out an affirmation based on the teaching of this chat, and you can use these same kind of patterns for when the other people are sharing theirs. So if you're here, this message is for you. So our very first Thanksgiving collaborative team tarot. Oh God, here we go. I'm sitting around the table with you guys. So happy. Okay. 3 of spheres. All right. If you are here, this message is for you. Listen. The image. From the deep cosmic blue of the night sky appears a Gothic window integrating 3 stylized spheres in a symmetrical construction. Meaning, from the world of duality, newness is born through the union of opposites. In the energetic field of polarity, the individual develops the ability to create new things, to adjust to environment of personal requirements, and in turn adjust to the given conditions. Through the ability to synthesize, the differences of various manifestations in the outer world can be brought to a new common denominator, to guarantee development and progress. Symbiosis, as the combination of various life forms, has a supporting and enlivening effect for the whole. Success arrives at this point after painstaking work, as well as the evaluation of previous experiences. However, within the constant change of becoming, existing, and passing, there is no condition of real duration. Seen in the bigger picture, the image represents only a transition from one condition to another. Astrological significance: Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, trine aspects. Keywords: calling, bundled energy progress, development, evaluation of experiences, giving content to outer values, adaptation, creativity, increasing resemblance, symbiosis. Traditional meaning: synthesis, construction, creative power, creating an existential basis, collective effort, communal living. So just going to expand on the message here for us to just be able to get some additional inspiration. This is a really, really cool card for us to be able to receive. And I think already we're off to some potent synchronistic starts, because this card has a lot to do with coming together, with being able to bring pieces together to create something new. This is something that we see happening all the time throughout nature, throughout reality in the cellular level, but it's something that happens often unnoticed through the energetic level of us in our personal relationships. When 2 people come together, something new is born out of that. When a person and a situation come together, something new is born out of that. And so with this card, I think this is a very powerful card to be able to remind us of our ability to be able to see the potential of what happens when we step into the unknown, when we step into uncertainty, when we step into new spaces that may be outside of our comfort zone. Say, for example, that you are where you are, and then you step into a situation that might be challenging. You intentionally step into a situation that's challenging. Something new that is born out of that may be your courage, maybe your confidence. And so this idea that within us, there are new things that are rising to the surface. There are new things that are constantly being created. This is happening all the time, and yet it can happen even more when we are consciously doing it. What happens if we were to consciously make the effort to be able to think to myself, what am I going to create today that's something new? You know, what am I going to create today that I can birth into this world? So you can think of the idea of like the Vesica Pisces, the shape of two circles coming together, and then out of that you have the seed shape in the middle. And so that seed shape is something that literally happens on like, we see it in nature, but it's also happening all the time with ourselves on an energetic level, and with people, and with relationships, and especially with community. So just hitting upon this real quick, I'm not going to spend too much time on this, just be able to hit upon some of the main themes, at least that I'm drawing upon. Again, with this one, this is a card that really emphasizes the idea of symbiosis and synthesis to be able to construct new creative potential to be able to move us forward as a community. So this is the idea that we are seeing this all the time. We're seeing this during this broadcast. We're seeing this through this beautiful team that we're bringing together, through us coming together as a team. We are building new experience. We are building new opportunity. We are building new stories. We are building new confidence. We are building new connections. And so, I mean, just taking a moment here to get all sentimental and wrapping it up into the themes of Thanksgiving, like it's beautiful to just think of how many seeds have grown as a result of us coming together, of us feeling the call, of us uniting as star family, as tribe, as spirit, whatever you want to call it. And then out of this, you know, it's like what I saw a meme earlier today. I'd seen it before, but it just re-popped up, and I'll just say it. It's like, why don't you make like a tree and slowly grow while helping support the growth of those around you? Like it was like opposed to that, like, why don't you make a tree then, I don't know, fall over. What, I don't even remember the original meme of like the original saying that. But anyways, you know, again, this is a very, very powerful card that's really just hitting upon this idea that through us growing together, we share like this collective foundation. We share this collective roots. We share this process of being able to both evaluate the situations of how our growth is affecting us individually, while being able to continue to hold space for how it is going to affect on the bigger scales, perhaps in ways that we don't even know. So really, really being able to develop our personal progress, our personal growth, and yeah, being able to continuously evolve as community as well. So anyways, I'll just wrap it up there because I'd love to just be able to get into some next readings. But again, really hitting upon this idea of all of us, that we're all little spheres coming together, like, and we're merging, and we're creating beautiful shapes and new seeds, and we're growing out of it. So thank you everybody here for being a beautiful seed, a beautiful circle for coming together. If this resonates with you, drop an 1111 in the chat, and please feel free to write out an affirmation based on the teaching of this card, and you can theme it up with the Thanksgiving. So I'll just say like, I am, and you can write this into the chat. I encourage you to do this on YouTube because this will help you remember the message that came through with this. I am continuously becoming more aware of how my circle interacts with the circles of those around me to be able to create new experiences and opportunities for personal and collective growth. So that's my little affirmation there that I'll just share. And if you guys want to type that into the YouTube chat, please go ahead. So are we gonna, I like how Baby Yoda is just like, Baby Yoda is just like our mascot now here within the chat. Okay, awesome. All right, okay. So there we go. That's our first reading tonight. I just wanted to be able to give a quick little sample on that one, just be able to get a quick one going, and we'll get right into the next reading. So again, go ahead and leave some affirmations down in the chat based on the first teaching of this card, and then from there we'll get right into the next reading. So again, if you guys want to be able to connect with me further, again, I'm offering one-on-one tarot readings through my Patreon. This is brand new. I just finished getting this set up, so if you guys want to check out my Patreon, please by all means go ahead. And there's limited spots available, so if you want to be able to do some one-on-one sessions with me where we do video chat or audio chat and we dive deeper and we can really just like see what messages the universe has to be able to help give you additional clarity and inspiration on your journey, I'd love to be able to work with you guys, and I'll be doing more tarot readings as we go. Let's pass it over to the next person. We're going to pass it over to Zentia, and then from there we're going to pass it over to Kristen, and we also had Justine jump in as well. Hi Justine, welcome as well. Okay, all right, we got everybody here at our Thanksgiving shifty table. Okay, Zentia, passing it over to you. And Zentia, go ahead. I'll let you you have your own style for how you would, if you feel how you would like to do this tarot. So please go ahead. The talking stick is in your hands. And after Zentia's, if anybody else just wants to like jump in with feedback or just be like, let us know how that message resonated with you, please, by all means. We'll just skip the first one for this, just to be able to get into the next readings. Zentia, go right ahead. It's all yours.
Okay, everybody. Hello. Welcome to Team Tarot. Again, my name is Zentia and I do love readings. I am Venus driven Libra, Aphrodite love. So I'm here to shoot a couple arrows for the collective tonight. So, first deck I'm going to go to is the Beyond Lumeria deck. Really love it. And I'm just going to pull one card from there. And this will be fluid. There's no genders assigned to these readings. And I like to read, all of my readings are timeless. So whenever you get to this message, it will actually apply to you. So here's the first card for that one. I'm going to pull from the love deck here and get a message. And this message will be from your soulmate. So whether you met them or not, this is the message from them, truest of the true. That's where this one will be coming from. And just one more, the angel deck. I always check the angel deck. I love it. It's one of my favorites. So, let's see. Okay, so for everyone, the first card we have is, wow, Ether. So this is a beautiful card, Sacred Geometry. This card here is one that I pulled on 11/11 actually for guidance on that day. And it says the seamless unspeakable. So in love, there's a lot of pillars in our mind, things that we have decided on. It's the way things go. They're going to be this way. They're going to look that way. They're going to flow this way. And we often don't understand that we're in resistance when it comes to love. When we meet a person, when we run into a situation, we're more likely to run if it doesn't fit that status quo or it doesn't fit what's on paper or what's been put into your mind. So in this card, as I think of the fluidness of fractals and sacred geometry, how it moves to exact math, but chaos at the same time. Love is the same way. And there's so many moments in love that are unspeakable that we forget about. But if you dive into the ether, that's when you get into the empty, vast space that love is, and you can create all types of new worlds. So let's see what we have next. Let go of control issues. Now, I don't know who's this is for, but I have this problem sometimes. I'm guilty of this. Allow the situation to unfold naturally. So in your love life right now, just take a look at where you might be putting a little extra push, whether you're single or coupled, something that may be going on, just allow it to flow. And that ether is right there with that. When you're in the vortex, when you're in alignment, you have access to that ever unfolding ether. And you don't need control, because we know control is an illusion. We can only jump into the flow and push things, right? So let's see what the last one has. Okay, this one will be from your soulmate. Acceptance is the key to inner peace. At times, we must accept things as they are. There is no point trying to change that which is beyond our control. You see that, guys? Did you see that? Spirit really means it. And my phone went off. There's some more confirmation. We gotta jump into this ether, guys. Know that you are the creators. You see the tetragrams on the side. That lets you know that you are creating. 11 lets you know that you are the creator. You have the ether. It comes out of you. So control also comes out of you, guys. Just take a couple deep breaths and just let the universe guide you. Jump out of the resistance. So that's what I have for right now in love, guys. Let it go. Let it flow. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Zentia. Before we move into the next person, does anybody want to respond either just with feedback or just we can just chat about it? We'll just create like a couple minutes here, just chat about it. How did that resonate with anybody? Justine, go ahead. Jump right in.
So it was like, hi everybody. Also, happy Thanksgiving. Grateful for all y'all. Grateful to be here. Grateful for your readings. Also, those of you who've spoken. And Zentia, I just wanted to let you know, like, so uncanny for me, like between when we had our meal earlier and making family phone calls, my husband and I had like a deep chat about like me and my relationship with control. Not in like a negative way, but just in like a personal growth conversation. So like you're saying this, and I was like, yeah, co-creating with the universe doesn't need to be like a control freak to a negative permutation way. It was just like, yeah, that's right on. So I just wanted to share because it made me chuckle.
Like Justine, Zentia, if you like, you're welcome to reply immediately if anybody has spoken, and if anybody else wanted. Khadaura, do you want to go ahead? Yeah, yeah.
It. So it's beautiful because like with 11 and being the creator, I feel like a lot of times, especially the people I've worked with, we get in this mindset like it has to be this way. I need to see 1111 on my phone. I need to see the license plate that says 444. And if it doesn't happen, I don't want it. And when we do that, we're actually telling the universe, like we're confusing the universe. The universe is like, I'm putting it in front of you. It's right there. Just see it. And we're like, no, I gotta control. I gotta control. And the other aspect of it, like you were saying, is sometimes we just get to let go. Sometimes in our lives, we get to be like, you know what, universe, I've done my part. I'm going to let you take hold of everything from now on. And that's letting go of control. So control and surrender goes so well hand in hand. So I loved that reading. Whew.
I just want to say that word surrender is so powerful because for me, that's when I find my results come in once I've surrendered. If you find a mantra, a meditation, if you go fishing, if you want to paint a picture, sing a song, dance it out, however you surrender, surrender it up. There is a spirit guide, an angel, a spirit animal waiting to take that weight off of you if you just release it. Let it go, even to your higher self. Look, higher self, please, not today. I cannot. Just here, you can have it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks again, Zentia, Khadaura, Justine. Again, we'll try to make the routine just as a practice for us as a community. During each reading, if for those of you who are specifically in the YouTube chat, write out an affirmation based on the message that came through to you. This is practical because it basically is just a way to kind of like take what's floating in the ether and to be able to bring it into the body, to be able to tell your mind that you are paying attention as well. So if there's something there that resonated with you, go ahead and write out a little affirmation in the chat as well based on that. All right, we'll pass it over to Kristen. Thumbs up. You're ready. We'll pass it over to you. And then from there, we'll pass it over to Amanda. And then we'll pass it over to Abbey. And then Justine, did you want to do some readings? Like, did you want to? Yeah. Okay. So Justine, you'll go after Abbey. And then from that point, like we can just kind of keep going around. Like maybe I might even pass. Like I'm I like doing tarot for you guys, but it's nice for me to like I enjoy watching you guys do tarot right now. You guys know I've done tarot like a million times, but it's nice just to be able to do this in this format. I'm having fun with it. So Kristen, go ahead and I guess Zentia walked away. Everybody here, be sure to check out Zentia Infinite 369 on IG and message Zentia on Instagram for information about private readings as well. Kristen, go ahead. I'll plug it to you, and you can plug your stuff before or after. It's totally cool. Go ahead, Kristen.
Beautiful. I just wanted to, hi guys. Oh my gosh. First of all, namaste. Happy Thanksgiving. I love you guys so much. Like, thank you for joining together in sacred space on this beautiful day and just sharing love and wisdom. I think it's really special that we can come together and just share these beautiful spaces. So I'm just going to put my thanks out for that. And then I did really want to speak actually on how, Brendon, your reading cohesively goes with Zentia's reading in the fact that like, how do we create and adapt while not holding on to that control? It's like trying to find the balance between the two. And so like keeping that focus centered on the heart space and love and unconditional trust and all of that good stuff. So I think it's really beautiful how we're able to come together in these spaces and spirit just the wisdom just flows. So yeah, absolutely. You guys can connect with me. I'm on Instagram, TikTok. My screen name's Pinoak Rising. I love my beautiful fairy tarot. This is Doreen Virtue Fairy Tarot. So I'm going to just pull from that, my tried and true, and get us a little bit more wisdom on what we need to know for the messages that have already started unfolding and see where we go from there. So I love you guys. I'm super grateful. And yeah, I love sharing readings and being able to get guidance from spirit in a way that like just really helps clear the clutter from our minds and our space. So yeah, what do we need to know, spirit? Beautiful. Okay, so the card we got is card number 20, which is renewal. Review the past and the present so you can plan a bright new future. Understanding your life purpose, releasing judgments from yourself and others. So how beautiful, how absolutely beautiful for this card to be pulled after the messages we've already received. And I really just think that this is trying to tell us that, you know, to release that control and allow yourself to review things from a logical standpoint and think about what you have learned from your past and allow that to propel you into the future. Understanding your life purpose. So knowing that you do have a purpose here and that whatever that is, it's meant for you to grow and learn from. And in order to do that, we have to release the baggage from the past and allow ourselves to become renewed. And this happens all the time. You know, these are cycles that happen within our life. And so just being open to the wisdom that comes from that. And then I also just really like to point out too with this card, we get quite a few spirit animals that pop up in this. So how synchronistic, the rabbit, and then there's a blue jay and a butterfly, um, a fairy, and a trumpet. So, anyways, but yeah, so just like understanding that the universe speaks to us in so many different ways and allowing the wisdom to come from the heart and not really just trying to force it and allow it to be something that's natural. So, I'm feeling called to just pull one from the angel deck that kind of gives us just like a little bit of um, like inspirational from our guides. Like, what do the guides need us to know? Oh my gosh, you guys, we got a spirit animal. Okay, so pay attention to your spirit animals right now. They're really trying to give you some wisdom and guidance. And if you're feeling kind of lost or stuck, you know, those are always a really beautiful way to gain inspiration and know that you are supported and loved always. And know that I really feel like this goes along with your purpose whenever it comes to really trying to focus on that challenge of transforming into the renewal phase and know that you're fully supported and that your ancestors and guides, they're there to support you and know that you're always loved and you're always supported. So namaste. Thank you guys.
Awesome. Thank you, Kristen. And you plugged your stuff at the beginning, but you're available for personal one-on-one stuff. Go ahead. You can just let people know how they can do that.
Absolutely. Please feel free. You can connect with me on my Patreon to do. I actually am going to start doing group tarot readings for my Patreon members. And then if you guys would like one-on-ones, I do sessions, one-on-one guidance for loves, relationships, jobs, guidance with spirit, and all that good stuff. So please feel free to connect. I absolutely adore being able to share spirit wisdom and guidance with other beautiful souls.
Awesome. So if anybody has any questions or just wants to be able to reach out to Kristen, Pin Oak Rising on Instagram. And again, I'll put all those show notes in afterwards. But again, just for people's convenience, make sure that you follow Kristen if you don't already yet now, and then you can message her afterwards as well. So cool. Awesome. Kristen, thank you very much. That was wonderful. And again, for everybody here, please feel free to write out an affirmation based on the message there, that card. Did anybody want to give wanted to reply to the reading that Kristen had there? If there was something that they wanted to be able to mention, and we'll move on to the next person once we're ready. Zentia, yeah. Go ahead, Zentia.
I just want to say that I super love how all the readings are just going cohesively together. From all these different places and different decks. I wanted to pull on the in the essence of jumping into the vortex, into alignment, letting go of control, the power of spirit animals. I'm a spirit animal freak. You know, if there's a moth, I'm like, there's a message. A spider, I'm like, that's another one. I hear a bird outside, I'm like, what kind of bird is it? Like,
I need the details. If it's a cardinal, that's one thing. It's a blue jay. Whoa, we gotta watch.
But I often find with animals, even flowers. I studied a little flowermancy this year. All these things have messages for you. It's this beautiful symphony organized around you to just so you don't have to control. It's like if you really pay attention to all those messages, you'll see the control around you that the universe already has your back for you. That flow is already there visibly when you follow those signs. That's all I wanted to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, it just kind of riffing upon that. I was having a discussion with a good friend of mine. Actually, you know what? Khadaura is actually with Michelle. Like I was talking to Michelle earlier, and we were just kind of talking about this idea of just kind of like you look at things over a period of years and just the way things play out, where there's just like all of these circumstances, but then flash forward down the road, and you're just like, everything's exactly where it needs to be. Like everyone arrived exactly where they were supposed to be. So it's just kind of like this idea, and this is where we were talking, where she was talking about like having met Ram Dass and our friend Phoenix, and basically this idea is just like do we have free will? Like is there free will? Like even when we think we don't have free will, we're still a part of some sort of bigger stream. So I was kind of talking about this idea that it's like maybe we submit to the illusion of free will, which is this idea of us stepping out of the stream. But even when we step out of the stream, we're still in a bigger stream, even if we don't acknowledge that we're in a bigger stream. So it's like it's always moving us towards where we're supposed to go. And I think honestly, I think the free will aspect, from my understanding, or at least one perspective, if anything, it's like the things that are meant for you will come to you, but the free will aspect allows you to be able to perhaps align with them sooner or later, sort of thing. So your free will can choose to be like, I want to do this, I'm going to step away from my purpose. But then your free will can also be, I'm going to align with my purpose. So it'll affect this sooner rather than later effect. At least that's what I found. Okay. Yeah. And Zentia, before you stepped away for a second, Zentia, but literally Kristen was just saying how the idea that like, yes, my reading, then your reading already flowed theme wise. And then Kristen's reading flowed theme wise. So for everybody here tuned in tonight, more or less, like this is just one big giant tarot reading, I guess, in some miraculous synchronistic way. It happens like that when we do these readings. They literally do that. Each reading will sink into the next. It will lead into the next. So this is like literally magic unfolding before us, if you think about it that way. Okay. Does anybody else feel like they want to be able to jump in real quick? And Abbey, yeah, go ahead, Abbey, if you want to reply to anything said so far.
I was just writing gratitude earlier today on little sheets of paper, and I wrote down rabbit, all of them. But when I wrote down trumpet, I was like, why am I writing down trumpet? Because I already wrote down music, but something was like, write down trumpet. So for me, that just tells me to go down the rabbit hole and let go of control. So keep it flowing. I'm excited to see what else we have to say, Spirit has to say for us.
Awesome. Well, awesome. Thank you, Abbey. And so we'll pass it over to Amanda, and then we'll pass it back to Abbey, and then we'll pass it to Justine to do some next readings. And again, we'll just chit chat in between. Amanda, you ready? Thumbs up. Pass it over to you. Okay, cool. Pass it over to Amanda. So Amanda, please feel free to introduce yourself as you wish, and you can do your reading, and you can plug your stuff before or afterwards. It's totally fine. Go ahead, Amanda, and welcome.
Hi, I'm Amanda. I've been reading for myself for probably about 6 months now. This is my first time actually reading for other people, so this is fun. I was shuffling while you guys were talking because I always look for a jumper. So this is what he wrote in my nice Nightmare Before Christmas deck.
The card jumped out of the deck?
Yeah, I always get jumpers. So this is, I don't know if you can see it, it's the Nine of Potions, which in normal tarot is the Nine of Cups. So what it says is, congrats, your wishes are being granted. Your lucky stars have aligned and things are finally falling into place. It's time to enjoy yourself and appreciate the magic in your life. If only you could model this feeling. So one of the happiest cards there is. So yeah, that's what I got.
Awesome. Thank you, Amanda. If you would like to keep doing more, please feel free, and we can always rotate back around. You're more than welcome to do a couple if you wish. This is just practice. So.
Yeah, I never know how long it's going to take for a jumper to come out, which is why I don't typically do it for other people, but we'll see what comes out.
So you're kind of like shuffling and waiting for a card to jump out? Is that kind of...
Yep. The basically Spirit will let me know what card to pick because it'll literally jump out of the deck.
That's one way to do it. I love how there's so many different ways to do tarot. Like this is also educational as well. So no, it's really, really cool. Okay, Amanda, I'll let you do your thing, or do you feel like is it gonna jump? Are we? Otherwise, if you want to split it, that's always whatever you choose.
Oh no, it's always
You like
jumpers.
it's always jumpers? That's like a thing?
Always jumpers.
What? That's so cool. That's committed. It's like sitting there for like an hour. Wait for
Oh no,
it.
they usually only take a couple
Wait.
minutes.
Okay. The cards jump when
Here
they're
we go.
ready. Here we go.
Okay, so we got 3 of Presents, which is the 3 of Pentacles in normal tarot. So that one. All right, so that one says, whether you're making presents for Sandy Claus to hand out on Christmas Eve or working on something a little more mundane, 3 of Presents indicates it's time to work with others to accomplish your objective.
Seems very relevant.
Mhm.
You're cool. Awesome. All right, Amanda, would you like us? Shall we pass it to the next person, or is there anything else you want to?
No, we
That's
can
good.
move on.
Cool.
Yep.
And did you? Are you currently offering any private reading?
I haven't set that up yet. I
Okay.
can.
I
People
mean,
really want to reach out.
well, yeah. Again, we were just saying you can always invite people just to DM you if they're interested. So.
Yeah, if people want to reach out on Instagram, I definitely can. I just don't have anything set up just yet.
That's totally cool. So, okay, cool. So make sure you guys can connect to Amanda. And Amanda, if you can just post your link in the YouTube chat.
Yeah.
Perfect. Awesome. All right. Thank you, Amanda. Cool. Okay, we'll just take a moment here. Did anybody else want to be able to jump in before? Yep, Khadaura, go.
Yeah, I wanted to speak on that about support. I believe that was one of my greatest lessons this year. Being that I come from the military, it's like, I got to do it myself, got to do it myself. And a lot of us are like the oldest sibling in the family, or everyone comes to us. So it's so powerful to just be like, I need help. And it was really hard for me to say that to like people, because it's so easy for me to be like, I got you, I got you, I got you. So that card definitely resonates with my 2020 overall, for me just being like, hey, I actually need your help now. And then it's weird when people are like, okay. And you're like, oh, that was easy. She's just been asking for help the whole time. So I love that with support.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's always going to continue to be a big theme within spiritual community. This idea that asking for help is not a sign of weakness. Like, asking for help can actually be an act of self-love, to be able to just, because what you're doing, you're listening to yourself. You're listening to what your needs are. So to say like, I need help, is simply you acknowledging, as much as you would anything else, oh, I need food. Oh, I need to go for a walk. Oh, I need to get some exercise. Oh, I need to spend some time with my friends. So if you're literally at a point where you feel that, yes, you need help, that's okay. That's not a sign of weakness. It's just a sign of the fact that, if anything, and this is where it gets really interesting, oftentimes you may not realize it quite in the moment, but in the bigger picture, you asking for help is also something that will play into somebody else's journey, because it gives them an opportunity to be able to show up. So you may be in the circumstance where you're like, hey, I need help, and then your friend or whoever you happen to reach out to may do an awesome job of like showing up and holding space and being really supportive and empathetic. And maybe for them, if you hadn't asked for help, they might not have had that opportunity to see themselves show up in that way. So I know it sounds kind of weird, where it's like us asking for help may actually be the universe opening up a door for somebody else to be able to grow into a form of support as well. So always keeping that open. So really, yeah, no, great point, Khadaura, as well. And thank you again, Amanda. Okay. All right. If anybody else wants to jump in, we'll go ahead and let me know. Otherwise, we'll pass over to Abbey, and then we'll just keep things moving along, and then we'll go through the rotation again. So, okay, cool. Abbey, thumbs up. You ready? Pass over to you. Okay, cool. All right, Abbey, go right ahead. And welcome.
Hi. I'm Abbey, abs.archive on Instagram and TikTok. You can DM me for personal readings right now. I'm still setting up my Patreon and my Discord, but I'm going to have it set up soon. And I'm going to pull some Animal Spirit Guide cards. I don't usually use this deck, but Spirit Guide is telling me animals all day today. And my animals have been like literally on top of me all day. Like, they don't usually cuddle up to me like the way they have all day. And my cat was even like he was like glowing earlier. The sun wasn't shining, he was glowing. So the animals got some messages for us. I do the same thing as Amanda, where I wait for a jumper. They usually do just jump out. With my normal tarot decks, it always shoots out, but with my oracle, it takes a second to connect. Oh, it flew out. I'll pull through small. Okay, we got the spider. Trust the creative spark you're feeling and express it through writing stories that inspire and enlighten. That actually, I'll just say that resonates with me, because I was writing down the gratitude, and I have been journaling and writing down my story. And I saw a psychic when I was a junior, and she saw writing in journals. So that's anything. I think we are writing history here, and the support and the community we're building is just building and building and building that. That's what I'm getting. And ladybug is another animal that has been coming through to me. I let a ladybug go the other day. This is a time of good fortune and abundance, so be willing to receive all good things in your life. Today I really tried focusing on being present. It's really hard for people to be present right now, and so allowing yourself to receive the little things that you can be happy about is really important right now in these times. And then we got the panda. Create a I pulled this one right before we all started the tarot polls too. Create a sacred space for yourself in your home and or place of work. So there we go. That's the messages I got for us tonight.
Beautiful, awesome. I love that. I love that. Like, I mean, maybe I'm biased, but I got a thing for spiders, quite frankly. So, I mean, who here likes
Zentia.
spiders, right? I am thankful for spiders. Yeah, Zentia is a big spider fan too. That's right. Zentia, did you want to chime in with any sort of? Let's just talk about spider wisdom real quick, because honestly, I feel like that's like a whole podcast in itself right there. So, come on, Zentia.
For me, like, one funny thing is when I'm supposed to be at this table, spiders come over by my bed. I swear to Goddess, they come around and they keep showing up until I get to this table. Like, they're big enough to freak me out, get me up, and this is the first place that I go sit. And for a long time, they were the messengers of watch the web that you're spinning. To me, spiders are a resignation of 1111. When I see them, what's coming out of your mouth? Because you are the web spinner with your words. Words are so powerful. You're the web spinner with your thoughts. So what silk are you putting out? You know, webs take a long time to weave also, that part. Spiders are patient, they're dedicated, and they're tactful. And they use everything that they have around them. They could be, I mean, look at their web. They could be scared at every second, but it comes out so gorgeous. Chaos and, again, order in their web right in front of your face. I mean, I think you should just sit and look at their webs sometimes. I'll suggest that, and then you'll understand. Also, I watched a video of a spider the other day taking down a hornet, and it really was just like, well, wow. You know, in this little space, this big hornet, this spider he said no. He was strong. You know, he stood in his power. And as we talk about strength and releasing to the universe, he released and used what he had around him, and used his webs and used his angles to get the job done, keep himself safe and feed himself. So yeah, spiders.
Mm-hmm. Yay, spiders. Yeah. Like, I mean, how many people here, like, I feel it's only our weird little community that's just like, I'm thankful for spiders. Like, what the frick? Like, what's wrong with us? I mean, honestly, I think we're pretty awesome. But no, seriously, spiders are so, like, the idea that spiders kind of freak people out is almost like any creature that kind of freaks you out. I feel there's like some sort of powerful spirit message there, because it's like, why does it freak you out, right? Like, what specifically about the spider? And I guess it's like the creepy crawl. Obviously there's some kind of like defense mechanism on it, where at some point throughout our history we had spiders crawling across our face. Sorry, I just like could not think about it when I said it. And then at some point, our defense mechanism was like, yeah, don't let things crawl across your face or else they'll bite you and something may happen, right? But nowadays, like, spiders aren't really, I mean, yes, it depends on the circumstances, but like a little spider in your house, like, congratulations, you've got a new, like, a new roommate is more or less that I see it. Like, next time you see a spider, use it as a mirror, because how you treat that spider is how you're treating yourself. Like, I've thought about this where it's like, you literally have this opportunity where, you know, you see a little creature, and how you treat that little creature is how you treat yourself, is how it's a mirror test, like, right in that moment. So if you're just like, I'm so conscious, I'm so woke, ants, squish, 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 like, to my very best, if there's like a little ant here, I'll literally carry him out, except for those times where I'm very conflicted, where I'm like, well, I can either keep him here or I can let him out where he's gonna, like, probably freeze to death. So I'm not really sure what the right choice is here, but I can't just, I mean, use your discernment and everything like that. But anyways, no, spiders are really cool. And I'll just say this. I love spiders because the symbolism of the web, if you think of like a web and then you think of like the web with raindrops on it, and you get like these little beads, these little crystalline beads, it's very reminiscent of like Idra's web, like Idra's net, which is, again, this idea of like the underlying fabric of reality. So spiders in themselves are very much like an as above, so below, multi-dimensional, up is down and down is up, perception is relative, multiple ways of seeing things. The spiders hold a lot of mystic wisdom, so, and that's coming from mystic Spider-Man himself, I guess. All right, anyways, okay, all right, let's keep moving along here. Did anybody else want to jump in on just like quick things following? Amanda, go ahead, and then we'll get into Kristen, and then we'll pass it over to Justine, or whenever we're ready to do that. No rush. Go ahead, Amanda.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about the spiders really quickly too. My daughter had this really bad case of arachnophobia, and she was always terrified as soon as she saw a spider in the house. So I explained to her that spiders are friends to get rid of the dangerous bugs that may or may not come into the house.
Mm.
So I would basically sing a little song every time we saw a spider. The spider's our friend, he keeps us safe. So every time she sees a spider now, she says, "You're my friend, you keep me safe." And now she's not scared of them anymore.
Wow, that's really cool. That's really, really powerful. Oh, I love that. Oh, if the spider doesn't get them, Baby Yoda will. So that Baby Yoda, man, he's vicious. He'll eat anything. He'll eat the spider eggs. We've seen that happen. Anyways, okay. Kristen, did you want to talk about either spiders or anything else following up on Abby's reading? Go ahead, Kristen.
So beautiful, Abby. Thank you so much for spirit animals. That was really important, I feel like. And I personally have a really intimate relationship with spiders, because everywhere I've lived for the last like 7 years has had spiders in the house. And it's been kind of a progression to see, like, whenever I first started, it was like, oh no, spiders everywhere. And then moving to more of like, oh, I'm going to relocate them. And so whenever I moved into the place that I'm in right now, I had quite a few spiders that I would just I would collect them and move them outside to a safe space. And now it's turned into, you know what? You guys can just have the extra shower. I don't even use it. Like, just live in there. It's fine. Like, it's your space now. So, like, really, I kind of like how that connects with the acceptance of your path. Like, you know, before it was like, oh, maybe I needed to control it. Maybe I needed to move it somewhere else. But now I'm like just accepting of it. Okay, this is your space. It's fine. Be there. Create however it is that you need to create. If this is your space, then, you know, own it in whatever way works for you. So I love the spider messages. They always remind me to like anytime I see spiders, it's just that, like, remember you're the creator, remember you have the power to create. And but anyways, that's it. Funny.
Yeah, very much so. Cool. Awesome. All right, Kristen, thank you again. Okay, we'll pass over to Justine, and then we'll make room for more chit-chatting, and yeah, please, by all means, like, if you guys need to bring in any, like, I don't know, the eat some food while you're watching this, please, by all means. Maybe like get some wine going or something like that. It's okay, it's cool, it's a party, it's Thanksgiving. So all right, Justine, we'll pass it over to you. Justine, welcome, thank you for being here. And again, go ahead and plug yourself. And again, reminder for everybody here, please feel free to keep writing out affirmations based on the messages that came through the cards. We'll those are on the YouTube chat. We'll read some of them on air. And again, be sure to connect with Abbey on Instagram and support Abbey's Patreon once it's ready to go. Ab's Archive on Instagram. All right, Justine, pass over to you. Please feel free to introduce yourself. You can plug yourself before, afterwards, whatever works. And when you're ready, go right ahead, and happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, y'all. I feel like I'm more Southern sounding today than normal because it being Thanksgiving. So enjoy. I think I dropped an all y'all earlier too. But anyway, I am 5D aligned on Instagram and TikTok. And since Amanda brought up that she always practices with letting the cards fall out on themselves, since she mentioned that, I started shuffling my empowerment oracle deck, and these two cards came out for us. This is the one deck that I always work with in that particular way. And I turned off mirroring on my computer, so hopefully y'all can see this. But the two cards I pulled are the hummingbird. Oh, no, that's not working very well. Hang on. The hummingbird and rich AF. And since that's a little bit small, / my little background is trying to eat it, I'm gonna read them to you. So the hummingbird is the messenger of promise, love, connection, truth, and miracles. Pulling this oracle message, hummingbird is reminding you that miracles are a constant if only you'll shift your perspective. A miracle is on the way to you. Hummingbird messenger is also a harbinger of love and authentic connection. So if you are partnered, you may see your connection deepen. If you are single, see this as a beautiful sign of calling in authentic partnership and or loving your journey and yourself along the way. You are always guided, all is well. So that's fun. And then the other one is like, I would consider one of the more controversial cards in this deck. So let's jump into Rich AF. Is being materialistic spiritual? Well, let's look at it this way. Spirit lives in all things. You are rich AF, my ruler. Abundance is currently permeating your life. Open up and receive. A rich life constitutes living your life on purpose and calling in abundance, money, and a wealth of experiences because you are in alignment with who you truly are. You are taken care of, and money is always, always, always coming to you. This could be a sign to raise your money frequency now. Write down the amount of money you want to feel wealthy, then move through your life today as that wealthy person. Act as if, and so it is. So with this card, usually when I pull it for folks, I encourage them to think about like whether they've been honoring money as a mode of energetic exchange. I think so often in the spiritual community, we feel fine trading services, but somehow letting that money circulate, we can develop blockages too. And there's no need for that. So that's my personal interpretation that I would like to add to this card. But these two together is like one of the most auspicious pulls I have pulled in the like year and a half I've been using this deck. That's nuts to me. And the other reading I wanted to do for y'all today is from my very favorite tarot deck ever, which is this one, the Light Seers Tarot. Wow, this little background I got going on is not my friend today. It's the Light Seers Tarot. And I have like a little, I guess you could call it like a poem or a saying that I made up that goes with this spread. So this is a spread about navigating consciously through this current chapter of life for everybody in the collective. And so it's actually 10 cards. I'm going to try and speed through it fairly quickly, but it's something to do, something to know, something to feel, something to grow, something to heal, something to mend, 3 more things to know before the chapter ends. So I'm gonna shuffle, and then I'm gonna cut my deck. Ha! I wish you could see. I have a whole bunch of cards that decided to jump out and land in the crack of the couch I'm sitting on. So I'm like reaching behind me. But this is too many for me to read. That's just an oops. It's like a fairly fat deck of cards. I have fairly small hands. I gotta buy child-sized gloves. It's like a whole thing. But yeah, I'm super excited to share about this with y'all, because this is actually a spread I've been doing for myself for a while, but I haven't been sharing it with the collective yet, because I was like, I just made this up. I just wrote this wacky poem. Like, I woke up one morning and it was just there, and I was like, cool, I'm gonna start doing this tarot spread. So I'm super excited right now. And I split the deck in thirds in case anybody's just curious. And then we get some hover action going. We pick a pile. Okay. Lovely, lovely. Move. I have like a teeny tiny portable desk that I'm trying to do this from, so organizing myself over here. Alrighty. So, first card, something to do. We have the Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups. He's kind of like pop star looking fellow in this deck. And the keyword for the Knight of Cups, because I am not one of these people who can just retain everything in their brain, is I am in touch with my emotions. So our something to do for this chapter of all of us who are in the collective moving together right now is to be more emotionally in touch. This is something of a self call out, because I will stifle and ignore mine if I don't pay active attention. So yes, something to do, be emotionally in touch. And then something to know. Oh my gosh, King of Swords. Look at this beautiful man. Like, what? This deck is just like so gorgeous. So what is something for us to know from this beautiful King of Swords we have in front of us? Just taking some deep breaths. I'm like so excited. I'm like smiling hard and my face is hurting. King of Swords. Where is he? Like a teeny tiny book, so the pages stick. So the key phrase for King of Swords is I make intelligent and wise decisions about my future. So like we can all know together that we have the wisdom to act in a conscious way that is going to lead us in a positive or desirable direction. And we can trust ourselves and the universe with that. It's pretty cool. And so then we come into something to feel, which we have here the Four of Cups. I like that we keep pulling cups here. It's like a very emotional spread. I do sort of read in a fairly traditional way of like Pentacles being more abundance related and cups being emotional related and wands being like mental cerebral stuff and swords being action stuff. But I don't take it like quite as literally as some people traditionally do. But anyway, with Four of Cups, something for us to feel right now is I see the fullness and richness of my life. So like really feel the abundance we already have going on. Happy Thanksgiving. Excuse me. So something for us to grow on. Four of Wands. Which I'm just gonna like pause here so you can really get a good look at this card. It's like, let me see if I can put it right over my face. Now you can see it better. I am devoted to my connectedness, and I celebrate the wonder of loving bliss with my community. So something for us to grow is like how much wonder and bliss can we experience together? I would say both in our community here and also like in the other communities we're a part of, our families, our workplaces, our neighborhoods, etc. the world at large? How can we be more devoted to nurturing those connections and experiencing them with just like absolute bliss and enjoyment? All right. Something to heal. Ace of Pentacles happening here. I guess I'm very similar in shade to this card because then like filter is freaking out. So Ace of Pentacles. Flip, 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 flip. I plant my goals with intention, direct focus, and faith. So I think this comes back to a lot of what we've been saying is like, how would we need healing around that? Well, maybe we've been like, I know I've been locked onto my goals in a way that's causing me to have like unhealthy patterns of control because I'm like, I have to be perfect. I have to do everything exactly in alignment, or, you know, the things I want aren't going to happen. And like, I put way too much pressure on myself, and that's really unhealthy. So if that resonates for you at all, like think about it. How can we be a little bit more surrendered? Because we're in alignment. Like you're doing the thing, so just like breathe. And again, that's a total self-call, but hopefully it helps someone else too. And then something to mend. Oh, this makes so much sense. I have the Two of Wands here. And so she's sort of just looking out the window. I love the art in this deck. That's why it's my favorite. So for the Two of Wands, the world is filled with opportunities for adventure, and I welcome them into my life with planned action. So this really goes with like our something to heal, Ace of Pentacles, something to mend, Two of Wands, is like mend our relationship to planned action. Are you under planning or over planning, or planning in a way like, are you being kind to yourself in your planning? Are you healthily planning? Are you under planning and self sabotaging? Are you over planning and being unkind to yourself? Think about it. Work on it. Rather than like putting all of that energy into like white knuckling it through life, maybe we can work on our relationship to planning itself and mend that. And then we won't have to feel that controlling anymore. Okay, 3 more things for us to know. 9 of Cups, the Emperor, there we go, and 7 of Swords. Oh my goodness, what a combo. I'm going to start with the Emperor, actually, just for kicks, and because he's a major arcana kind of man. I lead the circumstances in my world with confidence, harmony, and generosity. And then we have the 9 of Cups. I open my grateful heart to the gifts that are coming my way. I mean, this is like a Thanksgiving poll. So aggressively Thanksgiving oriented. And like, this is what I celebrate with Thanksgiving. Like, it has nothing to do with people coming to this part of the world and doing whatever they did. I'm like, let's get together and be grateful and eat a lot of food. I don't know what your holiday was about, if you're celebrating or if you're just vibing. That's cool too. And then 7 of Swords. I act from a place of love and morality, and the universe witnesses my honest intentions. So these 3 in combination, I think this is telling us like being just so grateful for what we have in the present moment and in our, you know, quantum simultaneous future moments, right? What's coming to us already exists, or it wouldn't be on the way. A little quantum mechanics mind melting moment there, but yes. So being super grateful for that which is and that which is coming. Taking no more than we need, not taking advantage, but also like honoring that which we do need to fuel us in our intentions and move us forward. And knowing deep in our hearts and being confident with ourselves that we are honest and generous and harmonious in our intentions, that we're doing it for the highest good for all. Those are like the 3 more things for us to know as we go through this like current chapter, wherever that ending point happens to be. And then, oh my gosh, for the like big like, what's the ending of this movie card? The chapter ends with justice, which is like, oh my gosh, no way. Abby, what?
Hold on, do we get another synchronicity live on air? Abby,
Yeah.
Abby, go ahead,
Um,
Abby.
Okay, so we got the Justice card and we got the Tower card. And in your earlier reading, I was downstairs getting my pie, but I was still listening and I was just resonating with everything you were saying. I was like screaming. I was like, "Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh." My dad's like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "I'm just talking to myself. I'm okay. I'm
This
okay."
pie is so
That's
delicious.
really
I'm
good.
just really happy about this pie right now.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that. So yeah, the end point of this chapter, the catchphrase for this card is, my good karma is delightfully loving and it can be the most motivating of teachers. So like this is a like leader who leads from the front by example. And that's another thing I like about this deck, because I think justice is one of those cards that can be a real hang up card in my experience of like, what does that even mean? How does that even apply? But in this deck, justice is really about embodying our own highest and best and how that is contagious. Like, you know how laughter is contagious? Like, if you're in a really uncomfortable situation and somebody's a nervous giggler, you're going to laugh and you're just like, oh no. That justice is like that, but for like living in a high vibrational mindset. Like, not necessarily saying that any of us is going to be an ascended master, but saying like, we have the choice to make good choices. And when we are making good choices, those choices are in themselves contagious to everyone else. So that's really exciting, if you ask me. Yeah, so that's my little 10 cards in a poem that came to me one morning tarot spread. Thank you for bearing with me. I know this was like fairly long compared to some of the other ones people have done, but if you are interested in tarot readings, or human design is like the main type of reading I'm doing right now. I usually use tarot in like a more tactical way, so those are like shorter. And then human design, I literally write you like a 40 to 50 page ebook on like who you decided to come here as in this incarnation. So that's a more involved situation. But message me on Instagram at 5D Aligned if you're interested in any of that, and just to chat if you want to talk. And I'm super grateful for any of you who choose to be here tonight, and for all the other beautiful creators who are here. And gosh, cool synchronicities and pie. So yeah, passing it over to whoever is next, or if anybody has thoughts, feelings, wants to respond.
Perfect. Thank you, Justine. Came for the tarot, stayed for the pie. That's what I'm here for. Anyways, yeah. Anybody want to just respond? And yeah, Justine, and thank you for like the in-depth reading there as well. Like, is that 10 card spread? Is that like kind of your go-to personal one?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
for the last several months, that's kind of the only spread I've been doing for myself, other than just like quick 1 card, 2 card spreads, which I do a lot. Mainly because I had a pendulum practice and it just like kind of stopped resonating for me. And it was nothing to do with the pendulum. I think it was just that like I really love tarot. So I usually do like 1 or 2 card like directional spreads, and then if I have like a meatier question, then I'll go to this particular tarot spread, just because I find it gives me like really, really clear answers. Prior to that, I'd been doing like a Celtic cross or like a 12 card, or like I got really into like astrological alignment spreads for a while, and then I was like, this is too deep in the weeds to like explain to somebody when I'm giving a reading. Oh my gosh. Um, so yeah, it's been nice for me, and it was lovely to sort of share my own spread with you.
It's awesome. Yeah, I like, and again, if anybody wants to jump in on this, go ahead. And I like the idea that like, yeah, like with tarot, like you program the conditions. So I mean, there are teachings and formats that different people have recommended and used over the years, but yeah, you know, like for some people, one card is plenty, and then if you want to get more in depth and ask specific questions, like you set the intention, you work with the cards, and then you create the container, and the universe just kind of like fills it in. It's beautiful to know that the universe does kind of work this way. And I think, you know, again, with tarot, a lot of it has to do with that intention and respect for the cards. So if you're just like, you're like, you know, you do the cards, you're like, give me the good ones, like I don't want to, you know, like the cards are gonna be like, no, you get what you need. Exact. And that's the true wisdom, right? It's how you interpret, because you're right, it's neither a good or bad card, it's just how you receive the information relative to the context.
Yeah, that's also like,
yeah.
this isn't my deck in any way, but I would really plug this deck for anybody who is diving deeper into using tarot for exploring light work and shadow work. That is really what this deck is designed to be used for. And actually, like, I only shared the key phrases because I'm used to the cards, but each one of these cards has like a oh goodness, this is like the light seer interpretation, and then the shadow seer interpretation, and then like the whole storyline for the card itself, and then the key phrase. So it's like a real fast reminder of like, hey, the Emperor, you can see this in a positive light, or you can see this in a challenging light, and like here's kind of the story arc of how you might be like developing through the energy of this card. I wish I had this deck when I started, because it would have saved me a lot of, I didn't need to figure it out myself.
And that's the Light Seers deck, is that what that is?
It's the Light Seers Tarot. It's published by Hay House. And
that's the one that was inspired by your Halloween costume?
That's the one where I like dressed up as I realized that I strongly resembled this character on the front.
They based the entire character around you, my understanding. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because the person who did all the art said that she tried to draw real people even though she hadn't met them. And so I had a really freaky moment when somebody was like, you look like her. I was like,
why am I on this tarot deck?
That's cool. I still have not quite figured out how to like get two buns on the front of my head. I think I'm gonna have to get some hair extensions because I don't have a lot of hair. But
fair enough.
We'll work.
We'll work on that. Does anybody else want to jump in based on again the readings that Justine had? And again, if anybody wants to drop any affirmations in the chat, please feel free to do that. I'll do a quick reading after this, and then we'll just kind of keep moving through. Zentia, go ahead.
I just want to say the first two cards just made my heart sing, because the hummingbird is one of my favorite spirit animals. It reminds me of how they're able to move their wings so fast without sight. And it reminds me how life can move that way. And when you're approaching your goals, when you're trying, I mean, some people are trying to be rich AF, and you know, that's their path. You know, people do shame you in the spiritual world and they say you can't have both, but I struggled for a long time. I'm born out of Venus. I'm born to like nice things and be spiritual. There's nothing I can do about it. Like, and you know, that's what makes the world go round, everybody being different. So some people, they want a small minimalist house in the woods. Some people want a mansion in Beverly Hills. And I think no matter what it is that you want, as long as you are following your path to get there, you're going to end up there anyway. There's nothing you can do. So embrace your path as you're going along it. And you know, I love getting 9 of Cups every time. You know, like who doesn't want to get the 9 of Cups? And I love an Emperor and a Knight of Cups. I just think the reading was lovely. Like, it's just lovely.
Thank you so much, Zentia. And I totally agree. Like, whether you want to live in the Hermitage or you want to go live as a hermit in the woods, if that is truly what makes you feel lit up, that is your rich AF life. It's not about other external perceptions of whether that is wealth. Like, if you are living in the way that you choose to be living, like your dream life, that's your dream life. It's not for anybody else to say whether that's your dream or not. So
Mm-hmm.
don't give up your dreams just because other people might judge them, because that's just ignorant. It's ignorant. Make a really old joke.
Oh, that's awesome. No, each of us is rich in many ways. So yeah, no, and that's what we're thankful for today. Yeah. This is again, like, for those of you who aren't aware, in Canada we have our Thanksgiving back in October. So this is like Thanksgiving 2 for a couple of us as well. I think Amanda, are we the only ones in Canada? Nobody else here in Canada, are you? No. Oh, okay, cool.
Y'all,
All right.
I literally like learned growing up that Canada has Thanksgiving like a week after us. Is that not? Oh my God.
No, I'm not sure where that came from. No, ours isn't even always a consistent date. It's just like the third something in October or something like that. I don't know. We just schedule it. So,
Well, there you
anyways,
go.
there we go.
Like,
Now we're
learning
back.
every day.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Stay tuned for other strange facts about Canada. All right, let's keep. Okay, I'll move into a reading real quick. I'm gonna use, what deck should I use? Let's use the Hero's Journey deck. So let me just pull a card from here, and then you guys, if you guys want to switch up the order, we'll do that. Let's just kind of go through maybe one more time, and maybe we'll wrap it up by then. I mean, at that point, like, it's gonna be like 2 hours, and this doesn't need to be a super long broadcast. We'll just play it by feel, but yeah, I would say let's aim to kind of wrap things up-ish by 11-ish, give or take. So, and yeah, let's just do another reading and we'll go from there. So, reminder for everybody here, be sure to connect with the creators that you see on air, and thank you so much for joining in. All right, gonna split the deck here, so just gonna breathe here. You guys are welcome to join me in breathing, setting that intention, show us what we need to see. And this is the Hero's Journey deck, so... Oh, great universe, within you and I, show us the wisdom that comes down from the sky as we continue to awaken the hero within. Oh God, what's happening? There we go. It was like stuck there. I don't know. Okay. Okay, cool. All right. The card that I have pulled for anybody tuning in right now. So for anybody tuned in, this card is for you. The card that I pulled is number 14. Where you are is where it's at. Where you are is where it's at. Where it's at. There's a song there, right? I'm not crazy. Like, that's a song. It's something. Maybe we're making it right now. I don't know. All right, so I'm just explaining the image. It's a beautiful image. The art in this one is very artistic. Like, I don't know. It's very like it's very kind of like surreal, very cool. But yeah, you can just see it's like this beautiful picture of this woman and the glow from her and the spirals around her. We'll just read right from the book, and then I'll draw upon it a little bit more. So, if you're here, this message is for you. Number 14, where you are is where it's at. Stay still until you are divinely moved. This is a quote by Thomas Mann. Solitude gives birth to the original in us, to beauty unfamiliar and perilous, to poetry. Message. When you feel resistance, it might mean you're not up to the task. If anything I say resonates, drop an 1111 in the chat. When you feel resistance, it might mean you're not up to the task. Then again, it might mean that you are up to the task, but you don't realize your own strength. Resistance sometimes serves to preserve your energy and keep you safe. Without resistance, you might manically say yes to everything, perhaps for fear of missing out. But right where you are is holy ground. From a quantum physics perspective, you are already everywhere, and everyone and everything is within you. When you realize this, there can be no fear of missing out, because you are already where it's at. Honor the spirit of resistance, and know it will be with you through every step of your hero's journey. You've done enough inner work to know the difference between yes and no. It's wise to pause and consider your choices and actions with respect to your available energy, schedule, and resources. Dream symbolism, saying no. When you say no in a dream, you are being guided to release good and better to make room for the best. Your dreams reward system lets you know when you are on track or when you have strayed. Courageous choices will be affirmed with pleasurable scenarios, feelings. When you are off track, you will find yourself in an unpleasant scenario or shouting no at an adverse energy. All of this supports you in living true to your most magnificent version of you. Mantra: I move when moved. Until then, I revel in the deliciousness of the present moment. Beautiful. Okay, so I'm just gonna channel some additional inspiration here. This is a really, really, really cool card, and I think again the significance with this card is reminding us that a big part of our journey is the ability for us to constantly be able to check in with ourselves, to be able to really feel how it is that we are showing up in the present moment. So within us, our emotions, our heart center will constantly be its own divination tool that can basically tell us, like, are we on the right track or are we kind of stepping off? Are we straying off? And now, not to say that straying off in itself doesn't serve a purpose, because sometimes you kind of have to stray off in order to be able to learn how to find your way back. But again, with the idea of being able to kind of continue to move forward with more awareness and more consciousness, I love the idea that with this card, I'm sure we've all experienced this, where as we continue to cultivate our own consciousness, we get really good at being able to discern when a situation or an energy is something that is asking us to stay with it, or if it's something that's asking us to be able to communicate our boundaries and move beyond it, so to speak. Like, that's the thing. Like, sometimes you will be put in situations not because the person or the event itself, like, not because it's for you, like it's there, it is for you, but it's more so there for you to be able to practice saying no and discerning and then moving on to something else. It's kind of like the thing where, using an obvious example of relationships, where it's kind of like this idea where it's like, oh, like that last relationship, that wasn't very good, it wasn't very healthy, and I'm gonna make sure that doesn't happen again. Like, I'm gonna make sure that my next relationship is one that's more in alignment, one that's more harmonious. And then the universe will like put you out downtown someday and you're like dancing with your friends, and then somebody else comes up to you and it's kind of like bringing back flashbacks to the previous relationship, and it might feel on the surface that it's like, oh, this is exciting, but if you were to listen to yourself right in that moment, if you're conscious enough, you'd be able to kind of check in and be like, wait a second, like, this is the same thing, like, you're trying to, like, this is a test, isn't it, universe? Like, you're trying to test me. I see what this is. I'm not gonna fall for this schmoozy game all over again or something like that. And then at that point, again, you're just basically you saying no is you saying yes to yourself. But to be able to be aware of the conscious choice, when you say no to something, you're making room for something else. So just because something comes along your path and it may feel exciting, it may feel like it's just like, oh, this is exactly what I want in this moment, it's always important to just kind of be able to check in, and even to be able to check in with kind of where we are emotionally at when we are making those choices. And this is kind of a side note, but it's usually like recommended to not make big decisions when we are in emotionally unbalanced places, or when we are emotionally distraught, so to speak. Like, how many of us have been in a situation, or know friends who have been in a situation where it's just kind of like, and again, I guess relationships are the obvious thing, where it's just kind of like, maybe you broke up from a relationship and you're in that place where you're kind of like you really want that extra company, and then they call it rebounding or whatever, right? And people are just like, they're like, don't you do it, don't you rebound? But it's like, but I want to, like, but I want to, right? But it's like, but you don't need to, like, don't do it. Like, don't you know what's going to happen if you do it? You've already done this before. Don't do it. And then so in that moment, you're checking in with yourself, and it's like, why is a part of me saying yes to this? And then if you check in with yourself, it's like, oh, a part of me is saying yes to this because I am uncomfortable with the idea of waiting, or I'm uncomfortable with the idea of sitting with myself. And then when you do that, it's just kind of like, oh, wait, if that's the case, then maybe there's something within myself that I need to be able to pay attention to be able to send more love to. And then so if I were to just kind of play things patiently, maybe I'm just going to sit with myself and I'm just going to practice loving myself. And then, you know, as you do this, that next relationship just will arrive to you when it's ready for you. And there might be a couple more tests along the way as well. So yeah, I like that idea that when you realize this, there can be no fear of missing out. So yeah, it's really, I'll just hit upon here. Again, I like this idea that yes, it's okay to say no. And saying no is also saying yes to yourself, and to become aware when you're in those places where it feels like you're either being moved away or being asked to stay, and really being able to check in with your heart to be able to make sure that you're making those choices from a sound place. So the last thing I'll say, if you feel like it's a big decision and you're not exactly 100% sure on it, like and you'll know this if you're just like, okay, I'm just gonna say yes, but then in the back of your mind you're just like, but I don't really know. Like there's like, even if there's just a whisper, if there's something there that's just kind of like, wait. If that's the case and you have the opportunity to do so, maybe just wait. Just wait. Give it a day, see how you feel tomorrow, and see what decision you make tomorrow. Try not to make big decisions when you are in an emotionally uncertain place, so to speak, assuming, again, relative to the context. So yeah, I like this idea. Where you are is where it's at. So with this idea, it's like, instead of feeling like you immediately need to get out of where you are, check in to be able to determine if there's something more where you currently are that is like worthy of your attention, before like feeling the need to be able to jump out into something else. So cool. Okay, drop 1111 if that resonates with you. Does that resonate with you guys here? Let's just talk about relationships for a while. Let's all talk about the times that we embarrassed ourselves in relationships and stuff like that. No, we don't have to. I'm joking. So but I mean, go ahead. Yeah, Chris and anybody else, go ahead, jump in, and then we'll pass it to Zentia for another reading after this. So go ahead, Zentia.
Yeah, absolutely, Brendon. That's very synchronistic. The being able to say yes to yourself and sit with yourself in a way, creating boundaries has always been something that I've continuously worked at. And every time I find myself creating a boundary that I'm unsure about, I go back to my heart space and I just ask myself, like, is this boundary I'm created with love? Is it created from a place of heart-centered growth, and then just being able to connect with it in that way. And just like, I want to say, a few days ago, I was in a place where I did not respect my own personal boundaries, and it got me into a place where then I'm like having to follow the repercussions of, okay, I didn't honor my space, so now I have to rework the way that I'm coming at this situation. And so just an absolutely beautiful reminder to be able to honor your energy in a way that makes sense to you, and the way that you honor your energy does not have to look the same as the way that Justine honors her energy, or in the way that Brendon honors his energy. Everybody's going to be different, and respect what it looks like for you. And how do you know what it looks like for you if you don't create the space and the boundaries to be able to respect those? And so yeah, anyways, just thank you for that. That was beautiful.
Yeah, I like it. And anybody else want to jump in on this, go ahead. Yeah, the part here where it says it's wise to pause and consider your choices and actions. This is the important part. With respect to your available energy, schedule, and resources. So again, if you're like in that situation where it's like you're focused on your work, you're doing things, you got your attention dialed in, and then somebody comes along who is used to being able to get favors from you, and they're just like, hey, can you drive me somewhere? Can you do this for me? Or something like that. And again, I'm not trying to make fun of that person, but again, just check in with yourself, and assuming it's not like some sort of emergency situation, it's okay for you to just be able to say, be like, yeah, you know what? Like, I'll help you when I can. Like, but don't expect me to immediately just drop everything like that and be at a whim and just suddenly like if you make that, if you're constantly just doing that, then the universe is gonna come to like expect that from you, and then it will keep kind of doing this, and you're perpetuating this until you create your boundaries, until you again just be able to really honor your energies. And yeah, and again, it's kind of like one of those things where if somebody's just kind of like hey, like like I really need to be able to have like a serious conversation or something like that, you can politely just be able to, again, it's all going to be relative, but it may be something where it's just going to be like, hey, you know what, I had some plans tonight, just be able to take it easy and rest with myself. How do you feel about setting up a call sometime tomorrow or something like that, you know? So just really make sure that again, you're respecting your available energy, your schedule, and your resources. And I think, again, for a lot of us who are people who are kind of focused on helping others, this is incredibly important, because I'm sure we've all experienced this, where when we're not doing this, when the pendulum swings to one way, it will just result in burnout. It results in us just being able to create a routine where it's just kind of like, you might be able to help, but it's not really sustainable. Or you may literally help that person, and then you come back and you're just like, now who's going to help me? Like, I'm freaking exhausted, right? So making sure you're taking care of yourself, and then you're showing up in a way that serves others, as well as keeps it so that you can continue to serve others and yourself as well. So it's something that we learn over time as well. So anybody else want to jump in and talk about what I just, Justine? Yeah, go ahead.
Just like riffing on the whole like boundaries and expectations thing. I think, actually, I'm gonna go ahead and speak from personal experience here. Another place that it often shows up for people, like maybe you have pretty good boundaries about your romantic relationships, but the other thing that we're all very conditioned to do, I think this is a global thing, not even a Western thing now, unfortunately, is to not have good boundaries at work and like with work. And that doesn't mean that you're going to mouth off to your boss if they ask you to do something that's like, quote unquote, not in your job description. Hi, Fiona. But just, I think that's the other place that like really tends to show up for people. And what our boundaries really are, from my experience and my practice and the coaching I've done with people, is I always say that like your boundaries tell you what you are going to do when somebody else shows up with their external expectations. So like, let's say your boss shows up to your desk at 4:55 on a Friday, you're off at 5, and gives you a project that you can't leave until you're finished with, and it's 3 hours long, and you had dinner planned with your mom. Your boundaries are going to be what tells you how to react. So instead of being sort of stuck with whatever our emotional reaction is, like, oh, are you kidding me, in that moment, like with your boundaries, you're going to say maybe something more along the lines of like, hey, you know, I've had this dinner planned for X amount of time. Is it okay with you if I work 2 hours in the office and then 1 hour at home after dinner? Because I don't want to break my word to somebody, but I understand this project is important. So like, because you have your own boundaries, that is going to be what allows you to interact more effectively with those external expectations. Because the truth is, we can't change other people. But the other truth, which is a really cool truth if you ask me, is just like other people influence us, we influence them. So if you start making different choices, everything around you will change.
Yeah, definitely. Well said. Yeah, like I think it's something that we naturally do learn over time, but yeah, it's a lot of communicating boundaries is again, it can be challenging for people just based on if it's something where like in the past, like they weren't encouraged to speak their truth. Like oftentimes, like for a lot of people, rather than saying like, hey, I'm not totally okay with this, they would just either say nothing and then just go along with it, right? Because they're just like, I don't want to create a scene, I don't want to create a kerfuffle and things like that, and then you don't, and then other people, they don't even know that you have a problem with it. So it's not like it's their fault because you haven't communicated clearly. So it is something that, you know, until you communicate clearly, like you are responsible. You are responsible. You're responsible. I've said this before, you know, the boundaries you fail to set are the energies you continue to allow as well. You know, that idea I think is really powerful. And again, knowing that these moments where we are kind of met with that resistance is there for us. It's there to be able to be like, oh, sweet, here's a chance to speak my truth and clearly communicate my boundaries. I love clearly communicating my boundaries, and you can do it in a totally like respectful, polite way. Like it's okay. And honestly, I think it's just something that I think in today's society, we just weren't really taught how to do it. But I think now that more of us are becoming aware of being able to say like, oh, it's okay to do that, then it becomes like way more back and forth and interchangeable and respectable and much more free flow as well, just for the creative energy to move through. So okay, we have Fiona actually jumped in as well. And Fiona, can you hear us? Are you listening to us at the same time? Can you go ahead, Fiona, because we can pass it to you if you want to jump in to do a reading, because you're like live on TikTok right now. Is that
Oh, I was live. I just ended it. Do you want me to go?
You can, yeah, if you want to be live on TikTok and here at the same time, like, you're
Okay,
more than
I'll
welcome to
just
be able to
redo
do
it because I
that.
let everyone go.
Okay.
I'll just re-put it back on, and I told them to all go to your YouTube. So perfect.
Okay, we can do that. The other way, yeah, we like, do you want to do the reading now, or do you want somebody else to go and then you do
Well,
the
I
next
just
reading?
went live on TikTok again.
Might as well do a reading then. So, okay, so we'll pass over to Fiona or Vivan. And again, Fiona, with the other people, I've just been reminding them and mentioning, please feel free to plug your stuff before or afterwards. Let people know how they can connect to your private readings, etc., and introduce yourself as you wish. And happy Thanksgiving. So Fiona is another Canadian as well. So again, this is like our second Thanksgiving as well.
Exactly. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. This is so cool. So nice to meet you all. I know a couple of your faces, but I don't know the rest of you. So it's super nice to share space and hold space with you guys. So yeah, I normally have my high frequency music playing on, so I'm just gonna put that. It gets me on a little bit more of a vibe. So yeah, and I normally get questions from you guys. So does anyone have like a question that you think can benefit the group? Yes, go Justine.
Okay, this is for everybody, just based on everything that's been in the broadcast so far. I think we could all use some more clarity around how we can surrender more, like what are things we can do to be more surrendered? How can we find more ease around surrender? Theme, surrender.
Okay, I love that. I love that so much. Okay, so just letting you guys know, I'm using this beautiful deck. It's called Gilded Tarot. Okay, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful cards. Ooh, and I'm just gonna, this is the first card that came up, so I'll show it to you right now. This is the death card, okay? And whenever we pull the death card in a tarot reading, people get very, very scared because they're like, oh my God, am I gonna die? Absolutely not. And we pulled it reversed, okay? So death is always death of self, death of ego, surrendering to what it is that Spirit is asking you to do. Spirit is asking us to surrender to our divinity. We don't have to put on a face. We can just flow. We can make mistakes. We can just act stupid. That is what Spirit wants us to do. So let's just see what the death card tarot means reversed, because it's a lot more clear. But okay, death, oh my gosh. Okay, so the theme was surrendering. And what did we pull? We pulled the death card in reverse, which is resistance to change. Resistance to change. When we are resisting change, oftentimes it comes because we want security. We want to feel safe. And this is like so natural for us to want. We want to feel comfort and security because look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs. In order to reach enlightenment, we need to feel safe. We need to have our home. We need to have love and acceptance and food on the table. So in order to self-actualize, what's crazy, guys, is Spirit is asking us to be okay with change, to be okay with completely destroying your life to build anew. Over and over and over again throughout your lifetime, you're gonna have to do that. When you're 20 years old, you're gonna destroy a part of yourself so you can grow out, like, and spread your wings for real. So let's just pull another card. Let's just see, because that was like the card that jumped out right away. Spirit, how can us as a collective surrender? Okay, well that just like flipped right up right away. So let's see what Spirit wants from us. So I'm just gonna show you guys over here. We pulled The Four of Wands. I wish you saw it better, okay? You guys see that? The Four of Wands. So I always get the actual meaning, but then I interpret it myself too. So what do I get from this? How can we surrender? This is really interesting, okay? Look at how it's the perfect family. We all want that. We all have this idea of what perfection is. We all have this idea of what perfection is. Like, I want the 4 kids. I want the perfect house. And I need to plan out my life perfectly so that I can get those goals. But Spirit says, you're not going to get that if you're resisting change. You're not going to get what you want if you are in a fear-based frequency wanting stability. Stability, guys, is what makes people sell their souls. That's what it is to sell your soul. People sell their souls every single day by choosing a life that is not good for them, by choosing the paycheck over their soul's mission. So what I'm getting from this is, guys, as perfect as this little life looks, it doesn't exist. The ideas that you have that are keeping you small, that are keeping you safe, they don't exist. They need to be completely broken down to build anew. The death of the ego. Guys, that's how we surrender. By being like, you know what? I don't need this painting in the background. I don't even need these cards. I need to feel safe. I need to feel loved. I need to feel like I belong. When I have everything that I feel like I need, which is, to eat, because we need these things, then we can self-actualize. So I don't know. That was a kind of a crazy reading, but I don't know how long you guys are going, but you can stop me whenever. So I don't know if that made sense.
That was awesome. Aura, thank you so much. And the routine that we've been kind of doing is we kind of like do it, and it's super casual and chill. And then if other people like have response, and we just kind of chit chat on the reading and everything like that as well. So if anybody wanted to be able to reply to that, please feel free. And Aura, do you want to just let people know how they can reach you for private readings and things, and your Patreon, etc., etc.?
Yes, absolutely. So I just launched a Discord, guys. I think that's the biggest thing. Is a Discord for a community that you can wake up to and like feel loved, feel accepted, feel like someone is hearing you. That's everything. So if you guys want that, you can go on my socials. There's a link to that. There's a link on my Instagram. Just click the link tree and it'll go to the Discord. Go to my TikTok, Aura Vibin. It's Aura Vibin everywhere, and I'm starting a long-form spiritual YouTube channel, which is called Angelic Aura, and I named it that because of numerology. You can like choose to name your businesses a certain thing based on the amount of letters they are, and Angelic Aura is 11 numbers, so it's like a master number. It's really interesting, like everything you choose if you want to make a business, numerology. Yeah, anyways, that was just extra. But yeah, I'm super excited to just have you guys like part of this community, just as a presence, as a whole. So go sign up to that. And if you want a private reading, for sure, I give personalized 1-hour tarot readings. So you can see that on the Patreon. And yeah, let's do this. Let's be magical.
Awesome. Thank you, Aura. Cool. Anybody else want to jump in there? I mean, again, we've literally had an entire podcast all about like death and death themes and everything like that. So if anybody wants to jump in, Kristen, go ahead. And then from there, we'll pass it to, I guess, Zentia, we'll pass it to you next. Yeah. Okay, cool. Go ahead, Kristen.
I just think it's so beautiful that you pulled the death card whenever you first walk in, because it's like, especially because we've been talking about transformation and being able to set boundaries and create this space that we're wanting to fill. And in order to do that, we really do have to allow the old to fade and allow the old to kind of die out so we can create the space for the new. And pulling the 4 of Wands, if I'm remembering correctly, it's all about creating that beautiful, happy reality that you're wanting to experience. And in order to step into that role of I am in abundance, I am living that high life that I'm wanting to connect with, you have to allow anything that's not within your space to go. And so I just really think that was super synchronistic. And thank you, Ara. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks, Kristen. And or you feel free to reply at any point and everything like that. It's pretty
Okay,
it's pretty casual right now. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, that's so amazing. And honestly, guys, I feel like everything in the spiritual community, we kind of just all repeat each other in different ways to get, because oftentimes we say a message that might not get to the person clearly, and then another person will say the message in a different way and it'll click for that person. So spirit is just always asking us to say the same message to wake each other up, but we all have our different ways of saying the messages, and it's so beautiful. So I'm so happy that resonated. That's so awesome. Yay.
Anyone else want to jump in, talk about Death Card for a second? Justine? Yeah, go for it, Justine.
I have a note, just something to share based on that last comment. There's like 12 Sumerian laws that apply to like the rules for being a human on Earth. And 2 of them are you will forget these laws and you will remember them. And so we're all here to remind each other that we're spiritual beings having a human experience.
Awesome. Ain't that the truth? Cool. Okay. All right. Anybody else, or I think we'll pass over to Zentia if we're ready for that. Okay. Cool. All right. Okay, Zentia, we'll pass over to you, and then from there we'll go to was Kristen. Yeah, and then we'll go Kristen, and then Amanda, then Abbey, and then Justine. And if we want to keep going after that, we can. We might wrap up by that point. We'll see. We'll see. You guys just tell me when you're ready to fall asleep, and we'll wrap it up at that point. Zentia, go ahead. Passing it over to you when you're ready.
Hi again. I want to just plug what I do. So I have a YouTube channel. I recently changed the name to Rising Goddess 369. I specialize in love readings, twin flame readings, divine counterparts are something I focus on a lot. Also, universal laws is something I'm getting to. Also, female sexuality, owning your tantric goddess is something I'm really big on. I think that also, sacred bleeding. I know it sounds a little gross, but there are ways to understand our methods, our rhythms every month so that we can understand our bodies and then apply it to our lives and relationships. So that's something I really want to tie into my love readings, make available. So, once we harness that energy, men and women, feminine and masculine, and tarot is fluid. I really want to get into that. Also wanted to just touch on some quick things that I do that are a little different. So I'm going to do a quick spread for love again, but I'm also going to pull a card from a mermaid deck for spirit baby readings. It's something strange that I do. I read for spirit baby. So anyone who comes here in the future who sees this and is looking to have a baby, this will be a timeless reading for you from spirit from your baby. The way it works is babies that will come into the reality that will be born in this lifetime have communication with mediums, or your children that may be born in your next time can also communicate to help you in this one. So we pull the cards on your journey to having a child. And I am helping a few people who are trying to have kids right now. So that'll be the first one I'm going to pull from the mermaid deck here from the spirit babies. Okay. So the message here is beauty, grace, loveliness, integrity of form and spirit. See that card there, everybody. So this woman looks like she has lotus flowers all around her, and lotus flowers to me represent cycles, going down into the dirt every day and then rising back up to this beautiful sunlight or rain on a daily basis. So for the people who are trying to have children, it's also talking about integrity, understanding that your grace and beauty is a gift to you, and it is something that you should hold in your integrity, your body being your temple. When it comes to having a child, you want to hold your womb space as sacred. You can run into all types of different things when you don't. spiritually transmitted diseases you don't want to have when you're having a baby. Problems with your partner can arise. And you know, that happens, but at any time, but when you put a little more integrity into your relationships, it comes out differently. We can fall in love in any type of way, but as we were talking about discernment and going with the flow, I think discernment is a part of that flow when it comes to love, especially when it comes to having a child. There's such grace and beauty in a mom to be held. So I also want to, in that saying, when you do have a baby, during the entire 9 months, you are beautiful. And that's something that you need to hold into your heart. During the entire 9 months, your integrity is yours because you're giving birth. Like, you know, you have a little bit of space to be like, you know, hormonal and move about, but just understand you'll never lose that grace and spirit. And the baby that will be coming into form will be guided by you keeping that integrity and holding your womb space as sacred. So that's for the spirit babies. For the twin flames, I was going to draw 2 cards from the twin flame deck. This is also for anyone who is looking for their divine counterpart as well. Divine masculines and feminines who, oh, and it jumped out the deck. We have jumpers from me. So we've got friends first, and we've got no. So for me, this says, wow, I don't know. This is a trick. Let me just see. No, friends first. Okay, so the message that I'm getting here for the twins is, from my experience, it can get difficult when it comes to soulmates, twin flames, catalyst twin flames, karmic soulmates. You know, the pool can get mucky when you're getting in there. And when you don't take the time to be friends with someone, you don't know where you're getting into. And Brendon, I think, touched on this earlier, taking the time to practice that discernment before you get into a relationship. Twin flames, sacred unions, it's so intense, the energy. And it's very difficult to discern who's who and what's what when these rush of emotions come in, when spirit is like, I need you to learn this lesson so you can go this place with this person and do this. You know, it's a tricky situation. So I'm gonna say, do not go into relationships, as Brendon said, the in-between period, out of one into another. Because I know right now, as a lot of twins are, a lot of divine masculines and feminines are getting rid of the old. As we're talking about transformation, this is a big period of cutting out that King of Swords that Justine said is cutting out, and this Queen of Swords right now, just cutting people out. And if you can't get that friends first, that is the 4 of Wands foundation that you need to have a relationship, friendship. Take that. Don't take the no. If they don't want to be friends with you twins, then that's not your twin. That's all. Or it's not your divine counterpart. Let's just say that. So for everyone else, I wanted to pull from this tarot deck. I just got it, but I like it because the cards, they have the front of the tarot and the back. So you get 2 different definitions off of your cards. So let's just see what we have for love here for the collective from this deck. I'm just going to pull 2 cards here. So I'm going to pull 2, and then I'm going to pull 1 from my angel deck. Well, angel gods and goddesses, actually. Let's see what they have to say to us today. Okay. So from the angels, gods and goddesses, we have the god of arts. The artist in you is about to emerge. So since this is a love reading, I'm going to say, through love, art comes to life. A lot of times when I'm making art for my business, it comes out of the heart space for me. It's my passion. It's my job. So where you find your heart space, that's where art is going to pour out from. I don't care what anybody says. What you love is always going to be the best art. And isn't love art? You know, the little note that you leave your partner, the way you fix the meal, or you put a chill on it because your partner likes it that way, or the picnic that you have that you set up perfectly is all a piece of art. The way you hold each other at night is a piece of art. The way you kiss someone's forehead, all of that art is included in your relationship. Just make sure you incorporate it. Paint together, draw wine on wine glasses together. Pottery class is amazing for a couple. And all of that is art. There's so much wealth in art that you can bring into your relationship is ridiculous. Like, so just know, you being the artist and your partner being the artist will paint your Michelangelo, right? You'll create your perfect sculptures, your perfect paintings, as long as you let the art in. And this God here says he's here to support you in doing that. In the tarot, I got the Three of Wands, which is about manifestation. And this is really cool because the card actually has a balance on his wand here. You see he's manifesting balance there of the sun and the moon energy in his card. And on the back, you see he's manifesting nothing. It's very barren there. But on the front, you can see that energy over his wand. Sorry. You can also see that is very fruitful there. So when we're manifesting in love, be mindful of your state of mind. That's what will drive it there. As I see this heart energy, this green there, from the heart, you're making that, where's the card? You're making that art happen. And when that art happens, that love grows and it's bountiful. You get harvest from that love. Look at the red cape. You've got his passion there. And you've got gold, which is a hot, well, I'm sorry. No, you've got orange and yellow for your solar plexus and your sacral chakra. And you've got that indigo for your third eye. So you're just mixing that sun and moon up all nice and lovely there and getting that harvest. And the last one here we have, hold on, this is a new deck. I believe this is the Empress card. I'm not 100% sure. Hold on. This is new.
Gotta love that new deck smell.
I've not seen the Empress deck this way before. Okay, so with the color of green coming back, you see how there's a star at the top here for that heart energy coming back again over her head in the midnight sky. So you've got those colors again against, see, the midnight and the green against each other. And the Empress is all about standing in your power and being all of the queens. In love, the Empress is nurturing, she's caring, it's the softest feminine energy that you can have. And she's also all the queens in one. So this is a person who is practicing discernment. She's able to make head over heart decisions when it's necessary. She's also very sexy, very, commanding, and she knows what she wants as the Queen of Wands. She's also Queen of Cups, overflowing with love and nurturing. And I think I'm forgetting someone. Swords, Queen of Swords, she cuts out what she needs to. Very intelligently. So in adding all of that, we've got someone manifesting empresses in here, or empresses manifesting, divine feminines manifesting empresses. Divine masculines manifesting empresses, and empresses sitting on their throne. Women, this is you sitting in your power and love. This is so beautiful. This is just like feminine energy on 1,000. Venus at its best, Aphrodite energy is the best way to put it. So I love getting this for you guys. And I'm going to put this as masculine, feminine energy, because another thing is the colors for twin flames is actually gold and blue. So it's funny that came up there. As we set out on our journey, I also noticed that here it looks kind of, like he's got a long way to go for manifestation. It can feel that way in love a lot of times. And as you see here, as the Empress back's turn, it's daytime. But when she's on her throne here, it's nighttime. She's still sitting there waiting for the manifestation to come in. So this also speaks of right now, as we talk about patience and being in flow, wait for those manifestations to come in. And when they do, be colorful about it. Add the art. Paint your world of love, guys. Paint your world of love. Manifest it. Women, ladies, I love you. Sit on those thrones with your discernment and your wonderful wombs of creation and get it in. I love you guys so much. And masculines, yes, this is you too. It's fluid in tarot. It's fluid. Master your nurturing side too. Be your bossy nurturing side as well. Thank you guys.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Zentia. Anybody who wants to jump in and just kind of share some feedback and thoughts, please, by all means, go right ahead and just let me know. Abbey, go right ahead.
I just pulled a couple tarot cards and I got the Alchemist, the Wheel, the King of Cups, and the Sun all together. So From everything that we've said, I'm getting that we really, really are making breakthroughs tonight, guys. At least I'm feeling I'm making breakthroughs. That's what I just got out of that. So I just want to say thank you for everyone for all of your readings and all of the clarity. Literally, since Justine said we need more clarity on how, since the first card, it was connect, 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 all in my head. So thank you, everyone.
Awesome. Thanks, Abbey. Beautiful. Anybody else who wants to reply on Zentia? Go ahead, Amanda. Go right ahead, and then Amanda will get to your next reading shortly. Or Kristen's next, and then Amanda. That's right. Okay, go ahead, Amanda. Though you can reply.
I'm just feeling super called out by those twin flame cards. That was like a huge message for me, so thank you, because I very much need to hear that.
Awesome. I like the idea of being like, oh, like we use the phrase like called out. I like to instead use the phrase like called in. You know, like it's like when a message comes through, it calls us in. It calls us into reflection. It calls us into introspection, into our heart. So that's cool. No, I love the idea of all of these themes of love and self-love really just coming through here tonight. That's such an important thing for what it is that we're moving into. Anybody else want to reply to anything that Zentia came out with that came through that reading? And we'll pass over to Kristen, and we'll keep things flowing forward here. Okay, all right. Zentia, thank you again. And for everybody here, please feel free to connect to Zentia. I posted the Instagram Zentia Infinite 666. Which one is it? Zentia. Zentia Infinite 369 on Instagram, so you can connect with Zentia there and send Zentia a direct message and let her know if you'd like to be able to do some more private readings as well. So many awesome readers and creators here tonight. We're going to pass it over to Kristen, and then from there we'll pass it over to Amanda, and then Abbey. Did you want to go after Amanda again? Is that cool? And then Justine, did you want to go after Abbey again? And then Aura, if you want to go after Justine by then, if we're still flowing, and then at that point we'll probably wrap it up then, close in. And yeah, and Khadaura, you just let us know if there's like anything you want to jump in with, because yeah, okay, cool. All right, okay, passing over to Kristen. Kristen, go right ahead.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Zentia. That was an absolutely beautiful reading, and I can really appreciate the twin flame self-love journey as well. So thank you. I just wanted to say that really resonates, and beautiful, beautiful wisdom. I think for my reading moving forward, I'm going to just continue on with that self-love. Like, what do we need to focus on to continue connecting deeper with ourselves, and, you know, get a little bit of guidance on that, if that sounds good to everybody here. What do we need to focus to help our path moving forward for this self-love journey to become more connected with ourselves in a deeper level, so we can be connected with one another on a deeper level, and just focus on this beautiful growth path. So beautiful. Oh my goodness. Okay. And I actually am feeling kind of called to pull from a few decks, which is something I've been doing really recently, but so we'll just get a little bit of that, and then we're going to pull one of these, and then I'll go through this, though, I promise. This is beautiful. Oh my goodness. Can we just for a second connect with our breath and be super grateful for the fact that we can come together as creators in each other's space and share infinite wisdom and spirit messages and collective energy on this level with one another, and just shared love and shared cohesiveness. So beautiful. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. I appreciate you. So for this self-love journey that we are working on right now, our angels want us to know to live our joy, to do what makes our heart happy, to follow the things that make your soul sing, and that this is really going to be able to bring you into a place of cohesive energy within your own self. Because whenever you follow your joy and you follow your passion, you are showing yourself love in whatever way works for you. What does your joy look like? Look, it literally says live your joy, not somebody else's joy, not your mom's joy, not your best friend's joy, but your joy, what makes your soul sing. And so whenever you're coming into a situation where you're transforming from even maybe the person you were yesterday into the person that you are today, maybe what your joy looks like now doesn't look the same as what it looked like before. And that's okay, to allow yourself to transition as you grow and as you move, and allow yourself to just express it however it needs to come forward. And then the other card we got with that is the Earth Angel card, with this, which this card just always reminds us that like you are a true blessing. You are a blessing on this earth, and you are a blessing to all the people that you interact with. And whenever you show up and you share your joy and you share the things that make your heart sing, you're giving other people permission to let their heart sing and to show up for themselves and to explore their own personal creativity and abundance and whatever, you know, makes their sing. So just know that like whenever you are shining your divine light and you are showing up from a place of just like heart-centered love, you're sharing that love with other people. And so it's like you're not only making yourself happy, you're making the people around you happy too. And I just think that's absolutely beautiful. The other card we got, which this is from my Fairy Tarot Forest Oracle deck. Sorry, it's not a tarot, it's Oracle. And I really feel called to read from this one because this is really perfect. So I'm going to kind of just hold it up and read from the book for you guys. But it's the Shapeshifter, Transformation, Primal Wisdom, and Instinct. And the book says, "You are able to change, my friend. All the things that have stirred within you, things that you do not even dare whisper aloud, will soon become clear to others. Because you are transforming, do not let the fear of being different stop you from this moment. This miracle, when an instinctual true self becomes manifest, you can do what you think is unlike you. You have told yourself again and again who you are. Many times you merely gone ahead with what feels comfortable for you, without daring yourself to truly be who you are. This message is for you to get ready to change. Get ready to be amazed at just what you can do when you give yourself a chance, at what you can become when you receive the same opportunities as others, but most importantly, what you can achieve when you dare yourself to go farther. The story of your soul is so much more than you have allowed it to be, and within you are so many more possibilities. Do not deny yourself this change to develop and grow. You are so many creatures, so many beings, and now is the time to explore that one which frightened you, which will ultimately become one of your greatest adventures yet." And I just think that's so beautiful because it's telling us to allow yourself to shapeshift. Dare yourself to go farther than you've ever gone before. Dare yourself to step out of your comfort zone, because whenever you step out of your comfort zone, it allows you to grow and become the beautiful person that shines your joy and shines your light on this earth. And so allowing that transformation and really opening yourself up to the wisdom that can come through those transformative moments. And I'm also just really being feel called to tell you, like, to see the beauty in it too, like see the beauty in the change. Like, it doesn't have to be this like, oh my gosh, I'm changing again, why does it have to change? No, look at it as like, this is beautiful. I get to change. I get to shed my old skin and transform into something new and creative and abundant, and see it as something beautiful, because you really are a beautiful soul, and the things that you do matter, and your voice matters. And you know, like I said, I just really feel like whenever you shine your light and you share your joy, you give other people the opportunities to do that as well. And then from my fairy tarot, I pulled the Two of Summer, the Princess of Winter, and the Three of Spring, which I'll just kind of read the message together because I don't want to take too much time with it. But it says, plan your next steps with an eye to the long term. Have patience. There are more good things to come. Satisfaction from a job well done. So allow yourself to see the transformations that you've already been through. Allow yourself to be grateful for the transformations that you have come from, and to stand in your power and know that like you have been through all the things that you have because you needed to grow, and it's made you strong. And now you can have a solid eye on what you want and create this future that you're looking for. And don't dream small, dream big. Like, look to the long term, plan your steps accordingly to get exactly to where you want to go moving forward. And then the other card we got, the Princess of Winter, this card really speaks on speaking your truth. So know that like it's so important to speak your truth, not only to yourself, but in your circles, because whenever you speak your truth, you are allowing your soul to be free and shine in the way that you need to in order to spark the light in other people. And so just know that it's okay to speak your truth and do it with kindness if you have to. Do it with ambition, with clarity, but it's so important to show up for yourself and to speak your truth in a way that works, because you have to allow yourself that space to grow. And then the Two of Summer, which is generally a really beautiful love reading. It's falling in love and making a serious commitment to someone, forgiveness, and the resolution of a problem. Don't give up. Your relationship can be healed. And I really feel like this has to do with that relationship with yourself. Like, don't give up on yourself. Don't give up when things get hard, because transforming is so difficult. And going through those periods can be like, you feel like everything's being stripped away from you, and it's really hard to find that motivation to move forward. But it's just encouraging you, don't give up, that there is always a resolution, and fall in love with the things that make your heart sing, and that this is really going to be what allows you to find that focus and drive in order to move forward, in order to show up for yourself, in order to speak your truth and shine your light. And so, yeah, I just think that's really beautiful. All right, namaste, my sweet, lovely soul.
Awesome. So much juicy cosmic wisdom goodness coming through there. Oh man, I'm getting full. How's everybody feeling right now? You guys ready for dessert? We're like making our way through the meal here. Awesome. Does anybody want to reply to Kristen? Please, by all means, go ahead. There's a lot there. Khadaura, go right ahead, dude.
Yeah, so what I loved is a lot of the cards you brought up, I think, have so much to do with the inner child. You were talking about joy, talking about permission. And what I've learned is, like, creators, as we all are on social platforms, when we dance, when we have fun, when we speak our truths, we give other people the permission to do the same. Because they're like, oh my goodness, someone else is doing that same thing that I want to do. And I love that. It also, as well as shapeshifting. It's like Peter Pan. We all want to have the imagination and live in Neverland, and we're just like, I can't do it. But it's like, by us doing it and embracing our inner child, again, we're still giving other people permission to do it. And as children, we like absolutely spoke our truth, like with no regard. And as adults, we get to do the same thing. So it's just, I think all those cards are about connecting to the inner child. So I love this so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Khadaura. Anybody else want to jump on in? Zentia, go right ahead.
I just loved all of those cards, Christian. I really did. Like, it just was like click, click, click with my heart with joy. The shape shifting is so important just to me, because you feel so many different shoes in today's society, and sometimes you don't know if the shoes you're wearing are yours. After you've walked around for the day adjusting to so many different environments and people, it's really important to love thyself and stay true. Know thyself in the moment, and being I just want to add to that with the childlike wonder, being present really helps tie in all three of those cards. I think in the moment, being able to see how your life is transforming and taking those little bits, those, like I said earlier, those little fractals, and putting them into your specific spiral, and making sure that your world is going around with the propelling with the self-love. And once you get there, everything else kind of just flows. I swear, I promise on my life. Once you get to that space of, this is who I am, everybody, and it's not changing for you, or you tomorrow, the next day, or 30 years from now. Even if I look different 30 years from now, I'm still me. That DNA code is just, meant to switch all the time. So I look a little different, go through some different cycles, but thank you, Christian, for that lovely, lovely tied in message of, tonight's theme. Love yourself. Love yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to control anything. One of my favorite songs says, you can't stop the spirits when they need you. Can't stop the gods from engineering. Use my hands for everything but steering. That's the space we should take up tonight. Like, self-love and let the rest flow. Thank you.
Get out the way, let the universe play. Get out the way, let the universe play. Get out the way, let the universe play. You guys know what's up. As we just break out into like freestyle, just like do a little bit of a cipher right here, because I mean that's what well, honestly, I was gonna just kind of a side note here, Kristen, great job there, great job everybody. But again, for the people watching this, we hope that by you being here, this might inspire you to perhaps start working with tarot in your own way. And it's interesting because what I find with tarot is that it's a great opportunity, in addition to becoming familiar with the cards and the symbolism. You probably kind of like, and Kristen, I'd even love to hear your thoughts here, because as we're just kind of talking about tarot here, that what you can do through the tarot practice, especially if you're bringing yourself into a place where you're talking about it either on air or even one-on-one with someone, is that you really practice showing up as a conduit for consciousness, as a conduit for the message. So like you are, the message is like coming from source, it's coming from consciousness, you're just delivering it. And so for us as facilitators of the tarot message, oftentimes, and this is Kristen, I'm sure, and for others, you can kind of attest to this, where you're just kind of be like, okay, like I'm pulling the cards, like I'm piecing together the symbols, and here comes the message, and I'm talking and words are coming out, and they're just gonna, and then what you do is you just kind of, your job is to just kind of continue to just like keep yourself in that center, keep yourself into that place where you're not overthinking it too much. You're making sure you're breathing, you're going at a pace that works for you, releasing any expectation. And then you're just like, oh, here comes another message. Here comes another message. It's kind of like this a stream of water with these, I don't know, like baskets coming down the river or something like that, and be like, here's another message. Here's another message. I mean, Kristen, when you do that, like, do you find that like when the message is coming through, it's kind of like you're almost in a third person, here comes the thing, and you're like, I mean, what's it like from your perspective? And I mean, I'm sure everybody has their own interpretation. Yeah.
Absolutely, Brendon. It's so funny because right before I got on, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling kind of nervous. I don't normally feel nervous whenever I do readings, but it's really different to do readings in a group setting like this. And so I was telling my TikTokers how, okay, it's going to be cool. Like, I'm just going to allow spirit to flow. And one of them said, I'm just going to read it, but she said, when you started reading, your voice became powerful and your face glowed, which is just like, I really do allow myself to kind of step out of the way and let the universe play. Like, it's not really coming from me. I'm just allowing the whatever messages need to be delivered in that moment to come through. And so especially if you're kind of new to working with tarot and you're trying to figure out, how do I deliver these messages, it's really just allowing yourself to kind of step out of the way. Like, don't think about it as, I'm Kristen and I'm telling you what needs to happen. It's, no, I am being a conduit for spirit to deliver these messages to you through the cards, in being able to use the different like modalities that I have learned how to deliver them. So
Mm-hmm. Right. And that's a whole conversation there where, again, tarot is just one modality. So like, what other ways can we allow ourselves to be, again, kind of like voices of the void is a phrase that I've used, where it's like this knowledge that exists between spaces yet within all of us, and it's coming through. And again, a lot of it has to do with the intention, and we set that intention when we started with this broadcast, where it's like, yes, every message is for whoever's tuned in. This is with the intention to be able to show us what we need to see, and again, to be able to support each other as a super amazing team of individuals here to be able to help assist with shifting consciousness. So through the messages that you're receiving here, you, the person watching this right now, may they be little messages that either just kind of reaffirm or remind or realign. But again, it's helping you kind of continue to develop that path of self-love, which thus allows you to continue to bring that love out into the world. And that's where a lot of what Kristen's message was talking about, and even the previous messages as well, where it's like, yeah, like, through the practice of self-love, you're bringing yourself more into this place of cultivating this cosmic energy that you thus can share with others through your art, through your relationships, through your dance, your play, your expression, your voice, whatever it may be. So anybody else want to jump in and riff on anything? If you guys want to just talk about like the experience of doing tarot and kind of like what it's like for you, Fiona, go right ahead. Yeah.
Well, I just had a couple of things jump off of. I think Kristen said something about like, when we go through experiences, they make us stronger, right? So don't like discredit those experiences that maybe give us guilt or shame. Use those experiences to then build yourself up and then be that example for someone else. And there's this powerful saying that is, your greatest pain in life is going to be your greatest strength. It is what you're here to do. So let's say that you go through like any type of trauma, that's actually in some twisted way what your calling is. Now that you've gone through that, you can help everyone else go through that, right? So that's like a huge thing. Like, don't discredit what made you strong, because that's why we went through it, was to get there. And then Zentia said something else, oh my gosh, about wearing faces, and also about like telling people, you know, this is who I am, okay? So you cannot tell me who I am. This is who I am. And that sparked something in me, which was like, we can get so caught up with being a certain person that one day we wake up and we're like, I don't want to be this person anymore. But then we're scared because we're like, oh my gosh, but everyone expects me to be this person. I have to be this person. So then we're living for other people, even if we're trying to be ourselves, but we want to actually be someone different. So like, if I wake up next week and I'm like, I don't actually want to do anything spiritual, but then I have all this community and everything, imagine the pressure, what would happen? Well, I would tell them like, I'm growing in a weird way, guys, but I hope that you stay with me. And you take your people with you, your friends, your family with you, and you tell them like, I need to be this person right now. So I'm sorry if that I'm not recognizable, but please allow me to be this person right now. And the trick is in all of this is to stay so in tune with the message that's sown into your heart, because it's so hard to hear yourself in this world of distraction and like heavy noise. But the only love that you're seeking is your self-love. It's the only love that you're seeking. The minute that you love yourself, everything else falls into place. So that was the only thing that like popped up when they were talking. So thanks, guys, because that's
Awesome. Absolutely. Thank you, Aura. And that's like, honestly, like, I love what we're doing here. Like, I mean, obviously we've done a variety of broadcasts, but quite frankly, guys, like, this may be a first for the internet. Not to say that there haven't been other people that have done like more than one person doing tarot at once, but to have like, there's how many of us, you know, like several of us all doing tarot. I don't know. This might be a first. This literally might be a first time a community has come together as and coordinated some sort of group tarot reading. So if you guys enjoy what this is, then please let us know. Drop an 1111 in the comment. And this is a thing that I'd love to continue to be able to help facilitate in the future. And as well as all the creators here, they're going to be doing their own tarot related stuff, be it broadcasts or one-on-one readings or whatever it may be. So there's a lot to be able to look forward to as well. So yeah, no, thank you guys again for just being able to be here and add your energy. And I think this is a very cool synchronistic thing to do on Thanksgiving as a way to just be able to celebrate what it is that we're creating here as a community and getting ourselves ready for, we got a lot of work to do between now and December 21st. So let's check in with the cards and ask what that work is, right? So that's and maybe we can set that in, and we've already kind of set that intention, but maybe let's just clarify where it's like December 21st around the corner. What do we need to do over the next couple of weeks or months or however long? So cool. All right. Did anybody else feel like they need to jump in right now? Otherwise, we're going to pass it over to Amanda, and then we're going to move it through the next people. And we'll go a little bit past 11, but once we go through this one more time, then we'll wrap it up after that, which will be a little bit after this. Okay, so we'll pass it over to Amanda next. So Amanda, thumbs up. You're ready? Okay, going over to Amanda. Amanda, when you're ready, go right ahead.
Hi guys. So I decided to pull out my other deck that I've used a lot more because my Nightmare Before Christmas deck I just got for my birthday, so it's brand new. But this one is my Rider Waite. It is holographic, and I absolutely love it. It's got a bit of an attitude, but it's my favorite deck. So I had two cards jump out while I was shuffling while Kristen did hers. So the first one that popped out is the Moon. So this card I get quite often. This card basically represents things that are hidden. So it always pops up for me when I'm doubting myself and doubting my intuition, and I need to have a lot more confidence in what I'm doing. and basically believe in myself and be able to understand the messages that are being brought to me. So I loved that this came up today. And then the other one I got is the Lovers, which is not necessarily for romantic relationships. This one represents like a deep soul connection with another person. So this one comes up when you need to be raw and honest with people that you have connections with, and you can just be open and have that proper communication to build that foundation with someone. So it was exciting that this one came up too, because we were talking before about building the friendships first with people and having that deep connection with people before you can move on to the other relationships. So that's what came up with this deck. It's, like I said, it's got a little bit more of an attitude, but it's going along with what everybody else has said so far. So yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Thank you, Amanda. I love the Lovers card. It's such a beautiful card. And again, as Amanda was saying, it by no means is it related to the romantic necessary. Again, it's a really rich card for being able to focus on the symbolism of being able to see yourself and others, being able to see the infinite beloved in others, right? So like what would happen if you were to literally, meet a stranger, but then you were just naturally able to just kind of like see them as this fellow sacred being, an extension of you, like you, I'm trying to think of how to be able to explain this in the best way possible. You, like, who you are at your core is like infinite love. Like, as cliche as that sounds, like that is like literally who you are. You literally are like the primordial ancient force of love expressing itself in human form. And then to be able to tap into that and know it and to bring it to the surface is a very, very powerful thing to be able to bring into our relationships, and to be able to bring into a way where, in the same way you would support your beloved towards achieving their dreams. What happens if we start supporting each other in the same way, where we're lifting each other up, right? We're like, when you think about that, when you're in a relationship, one of the most beautiful things that I love about being in a relationship is being able to see yourself grow alongside another person, or to see them grow alongside with you, to notice that your presence is literally making a difference in their reality in some form or another. It's just it's you just kind of saying like, oh yeah, like you're really good at doing art. Like, I would love to just like, see you do more of it and things like that, without having to tell them what to do. You're just giving them affirmations and reaffirming and expressing gratitude and thankfulness and appreciation and those little things, and celebrating what it is that we're creating as if they are your beloved, is a very, very powerful way for us to be able to lift each other up as community. And I think that's what we're, as a community collectively, we're really doing that. We're redefining love, where there's many different forms of love. There's the in Latin alone, there's like 7 different types of love. There's like literally at least 7 different words that describe the different types of love, between romantic lovers, between family, between friends, and all sorts of different things. I'm not an expert on all the details of it, but yeah, nonetheless, so the Lovers card is a super powerful card to go back to, with the idea of being able to see things as a mirror test, be able to see yourself in the surrounding, and then when you love others, it is also a reflection of how you're loving yourself. It's kind of like that Buddha nature as well. So I'm glad that card surfaced tonight. Did anybody else want to be able to jump in on anything, Khadaura? Yeah, go right ahead, dude.
Yeah, so the reason why I love the Lovers card so much is it reminds me of Tantra, where it's like so many people get caught up in being like, that's sex. And it's like, no, Tantra is intimacy. And it's like, when you are intimate with someone, you can just be intimate in breath. You can literally sit with someone and breathe, like I breathe in as you're breathing out. And then when you breathe out, I breathe in, or we breathe together. And you can create so much. And that leads into like sexual magic, and even like cooking. I gave an example. I was like, sexual magic is like cooking. I may be making the main meal and you're just cutting the vegetables. You're like, no, you're not just cutting the vegetables. We are creating food together. We are creating magic together. And that is something that I hope people truly realize. Like, you don't have to do it by yourself. Like we said earlier, asking for support. When you ask for support on things, it gets done 2 times quicker, and it's amplified times 2, times 3, times 4. Right now, there are 8 of us. We are amplifying our message just by the 8 of us being on here. Even if 7 people aren't talking, the fact that the other 7 are there is amplified because of our intentions, attention, and intent. So, love it.
Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Beautiful, awesome. Let 2021 be like the year of love, new. Like seriously, guys, I'll just say this. And Zentia, do you want me to pass it to you? Yeah. I was just gonna say this, just to be able to like really hit things home. For everybody here, I want you to be able to really feel into this narrative. 2021 is gonna be year 1 of New Earth. Really feel into that, really feel into that, and what do we want that to look like? And so really kind of like bringing that love into this vision of New Earth. It's happening, dude. Straight up, Khadaura, I was talking to Michelle. I'm like New Earth is like it's happening like in like Austin, Texas. Like for whatever reason, there are a ton of people that are in Austin, Texas right now, and literally New Earth is like being built in Austin, Texas, as well as every single one of us where we are, because it's not just a physical thing, it's a vibration, right? So it's the carrying of the vibration, which is the lover's energy as well, and the wisdom that comes along with that. Dude, that's so cool. Yeah, Khadaura, thank you for rocking that, and all the people in Austin. Is there anything you want to say on that, Khadaura? And then I'll pass it over to Zentia. You don't have to. I mean, I know it's kind of a bit of a...
It's so true. It's so true about Austin. I just spent Friendsgiving with Preston and all of them, and there's so many people migrating from Southern California, and I'm like, something's going on here. Elon Musk moved Tesla here. Like everyone's coming down here, and I was like, something's going on. So I literally just packed 2 big duffel bags and bought a plane ticket, Airbnb, and I'm like, yo, this is where it's at. And I trust the process so much. And ever since then, like so much has been coming into my space. So it's like, this is what happens when you trust the process and you go with the flow and you just don't try to control anything. It's like, universe, I'm going to Austin. You take the wheel. So.
Oh man, stay tuned for more updates from New Earth in Austin, Texas. So Zentia, I'll pass it over to you, and then we'll keep moving along. But if anybody else wants to jump in, go right ahead, Zentia.
I want to say I hope the universe takes me to Hawaii, since we're just going places. You know, I'd like to wake up on an island. I just wanted to say that. With the Lover's card, I just wanted to point out that for me, when I'm reading and love reading, you know, tarot, one of the beautiful things about it is it takes on so many different definitions depending on what you read for. So the tarot deck can mean one thing if you're reading for business, another if you're reading for life paths, another if you're reading for love. So for me, when I see the Lover's card, it always tells me there's a deep soul connection there, a bond that isn't a regular one. So you could have like the Knight of Wands. You know, the Knight of Wands can stand for adventure, but usually it's that guy or girl that, you know, they share a lot. So, you know, when you have the Lover's card, that's when you can tell that the connection with you and someone else is a soul contract, a soul level love, something that's a little more worth exploring to you. Somebody that, or it could even, that Lover's card could be a decision between a karmic love and a regular soulmate or a twin flame, but there is a contract that is worth examining and pulling more cards for when you pull that Lover's card when you're reading for love. Also wanted to share a really cool thing with tarot for me. When I'm picking up these cards, I'm going to go off of Justine because it's one of my favorite decks too. They morph almost. As you get the messages from Spirit, I promise it's like, as you pick up different cards, you see different things all the time, depending on who you're reading for. It's nuts. So it's like, as spirits bring in, you're like, wait, I didn't see that bird, or I didn't see that cat, or wait, she has on a red dress. I thought it was blue. So that's a really, it's like, to me, it's one of the coolest things that happens while I'm reading is watching, like, you know, it morphed, because when we're reading, as Brendon said, it's channeled through. And what most people don't know is I'm channeling from your spirit guides. I'm channeling from your angels, your ancestors. That's who's talking to me. Like, I don't have any information on you. And that is a beautiful thing for me, but it's also a beautiful thing for you, because the fact that your guides are able to get to me means that you are open enough for me to read. So when you're with your tarot readers, don't look at them like, oh, they're all knowing. No, they're just connecting to you. It is energy off of energy in equal exchange. So, you know, when they're there for you, you show up for them. And then that's when the beauty magic happens, whether it's love, life, finance, whatever you're reading for. So again, I love that Lover's card. It's one of my, of course, favorite cards.
That's awesome. Thanks, Zentia. Yeah, just hitting upon that, just to be able to reiterate, and we'll keep passing around. Yeah, I've noticed this too, where like literally you could pull the exact same card like 3 months apart, and it'll be a completely different reading, like just based on where you are, right? So like that's the thing, like it's the card, and then it's where you are and what you're open to, and the intention equals the message. It's not always literally just the card. It's the card reflected through the situation, the circumstances, and the receiver and the conduit as well, that conveys a very, very particular message. And again, and it's also what two people are open to receiving, right? Like literally we could have multiple people listening into the readings here tonight. Two people could listen to the exact same reading and get two different things out of it based on what they were needing to hear, so to speak, right? So it's always going to be relative from that perspective. So yeah, no, it's really beautiful. Awesome. Like you could literally keep using the same deck like throughout your entire lifetime, and you would continue to be able to get new messages and see things from a new way as well. So very, very cool. Okay, did anybody else feel like they need to jump in real quick? Otherwise we're going to pass it over to Abbey, and then we'll pass it over to Justine, and then we'll see where we're at, and then Aura, and then we may get close to wrapping up. So Aura might be the last reading for tonight. Abbey, you're good? Thumbs up. Pass it over to you. Okay, cool. All right, Abbey, go right ahead.
Okay, I wanted to do Rumi Oracle pull. This is what I was using this morning on meditation. Zentia is excited. I love this one. This is my first Oracle deck that I got, and it comes with poetry in it, and that's what I think is the best thing. It's amazing. So I wanted to ask, moving forward, Spirit, what does the collective need to focus on or need guidance on with their self-healing, or with our self-healing, because we are all connected. Resplendent with grace. It's a really pretty card. She's just getting sucked up into that golden light. By the grace of the golden light. Okay, and then it says, greetings from my heart to you who are always with me, hidden inside as the heart. You are the compass of my life. My course is your way. No matter where I go, you exist everywhere and in everything, always watching over us. My soul brightens in the darkness when I speak your name. Far beyond the body, there is an opening from my heart into yours. Through that opening, I send you secret messages like the moonlight. I polish the mirror of my heart to be your reflection. I make my ear the receiver for the tenderness of your words. You are in the ear, you are in the mind, you are in the ever-burning heart. What am I saying? You are I. This is my way to describe you. Your divine grace clothes me in robes of sky blue and blood red as a shimmering galaxy of compassion, within the field of which no being is excluded. The darkness of night is illuminated, and all creatures are bathed in the fire, golden hue of your presence. There is only beauty beheld now, for there is nothing that is not of your artistry, of your divine hand, generous grace. It is difficult to see your magnificence without a mirror the size of a galaxy. How could you possibly witness all that you are? You must just catch a glimpse of your truth now and then. Catch a glimpse of your truth now and then. Oh, if you could see yourself as I see you in all of your glorious fullness of being. You are swathed in robes of grace, so light and freeing that they do not weigh you down, and yet so luscious and full that you cannot help but stir the movement of all the creation as you step this way and that. Of course, it matters not to grace whether you see or do not see, for grace simply is, without witnessing being required. Yet you might live rather differently, my beloved, should you realize you are not only worthy of grace, but actually dripping with it, saturated with divine presence, so rich it leaks out of you and causes sunlight to pool at your holy feet. Oh yes, you are resplendent in holiness and sanctity. Should you come to know this as I do, you would take each step with awe and reverence. You would decide that not a thing in your world could be classed as mundane and decide with bold fervor that you are living in godliness and must create your world through choices that honor love. No fear, even the most stubbornly persistent, would be able to withstand the sight of your magnificent beating heart, so wild with life. Inside the wild heart, you would have to call your fears close to you, soothing them with your words of love, like riddled children in need of tenderness and quiet. Then rested, you would wake from their slumber. Then when rested, you would wake from their slumber. That's weird wording. And they would rise as falcons, ready to soar to the height of your most daring visions. Hunting for life to feed them, they will ensure the ample grace pulsing within your heart as its chance to come to life in the world and serve love. This oracle comes to you with a message. You may be wondering if you can attain this next stage of growth in your life. You are already well equipped to do so, no matter what you might believe about the situation, circumstances, or others involved, even yourself. You have within your sole possession more than enough grace to see you through anything you are bold enough to envision for yourself, or for any envision you feel life has bestowed upon you. So pray through unconditional love to across all that you are, to be supported by those beings that love you without condition. Pray to realize that you are so drenched in sacred grace that the well of your being is full. All that is needed to nurture you onto the next step of your life path is within you now. Success is yours, but you must believe in your ability, your readiness, and your capacity to take this next phase of the journey now. How could it be otherwise? For you are one with grace. That was beautiful. There were some parts connecting with the inner child, and I felt a lot of synchronicities just reading through it. I don't know how it felt for you guys, but I want to know how it felt for you guys because I just felt warmth all in my heart reading it.
Anybody want to jump in with the immediate reply? Go for it. Or got a few people. Or I'll pass it to you first, then Amanda, then Kristen.
Yeah, mine is really quick. The biggest thing that stood out to me was when she said, it was like the universe talking to itself, which is us, the universe talking to us, being like, how could you possibly see your entire beauty? It would be like a mirror the size of the entire galaxy. That really hit me. I was like, whoa. That gave me like full of spiritual tingles. I was like, that's crazy. That made me feel infinite. That made me feel excited. That definitely like DNA activated me. Like I feel hyped right now. So that was really cool. I loved that.
That's awesome. Amanda, go ahead, pass it over to you, and then Kristen.
I just love how perfectly that went with the meditation this morning because it just matched up with the entire meditation from beginning to end, and that was perfect.
Beautiful. Yeah, shout out to Abbey. A little round of applause. Abbey actually led her first team meditation this morning. So yeah, Abbey leveling up. So that's awesome. Kristen, go ahead, jump right in. Any other gratitude or what you thought from that message? Yeah.
Absolutely. So Abby, I just wanted to say like thank you so much. That was such a beautiful card to pull. It was just very heartwarming is a great way to describe like how I felt the entire time you were reading it. It was just like I felt like I was getting a hug from the universe through your voice. So like thank you for that. And I just my own synchronicity within that is like you mentioned unconditional love, which is something that I've always really felt strongly to just encourage people to come from a place of that unconditional love. And like, what does unconditional love look like? It's really hard for some of us to know, or for people to know in general, because unconditional love is not necessarily something that's taught in our homes or our societies or our friend groups. And so like just knowing that like unconditional love is ultimate power, and when you focus on that heart space and you come from anything with unconditional love, you will be in the right space and you will be able to glow and shine your light and be that beautiful reflection, like Ara was saying, like that you need you need a whole galaxy just to like reflect your own divineness, because you are just like so full of that infinite love. And so yeah, that was beautiful. Thank you, love.
Awesome. Abby, you can pass it over to you if you just want to share from your heart, and then we'll pass it around a little bit more.
My heart is just so full today. I don't even understand it. It's like, wow, lots of upgrades today, lots of leveling up. And for me, I wrote on my mirror months ago my goals for my spiritual awakening, and it was to become aligned with my 5-dimensional self and to flow with grace. And today I literally released all the fear that I had and did a live meditation and just flowed with my gratitude for the day for once. Literally just flowed with gratitude all day. And then got this card about grace and made all these connections here. And it's just such a beautiful thing to be able to come here and build community and friendship. That's another thing that was really coming through to me throughout this whole time, is the friendship. Because you have to have a good friendship, good bond with someone more than anything. Before you can have any kind of actual relationship, partnership, like you have to know them, you have to connect with them, you have to be connected. And before you can connect with someone else, we have to connect with ourselves. And these communities help us connect with ourselves and understand ourselves so much better. And for anyone new listening, I highly recommend joining all of these beautiful communities. Thank you, everyone.
That's so beautiful. Awesome. Thank you, Abby. Yeah, no, that's like, I think this is what Thanksgiving's about? This feeling inside my chest, it feels all warm and fuzzy. This is what it's about, right? I think so. And that's the thing, right? Like, I think for us, we have a bit of a responsibility where, like, let's feel this and then let's continue to bring it with us. Let's continue to bring it into tomorrow, into next week, into next month, right? Working on our gratitude practices, doing our, sharing our gifts, sharing our love, being here with community. And again, just in the themes of Thanksgiving, and I'll pass over to Justine in a second. Just so thankful for you guys, for being here, for finding each other. And that's what it is, right? Like, it's, for myself, it's just like, okay, I have this vision, I feel this calling to be able to create this space, and then I create this portal. I'm very well aware of what I'm creating, but then within that there's kind of like this mystery of like, be like, okay, and now I've put out the signal, and now to see who hears it, like who will show up. And as a result, some of you, like, I've kind of like gone out of my way and I found you, and then some of you have literally just found us, and it's very synchronistic, and it's very much like this non-temporal reverse time theory where we're already coming together because we are already connected from the future. And just to see you guys grow, and to see you stepping into your confidence and your abilities and sharing your gifts, that for me is like such a powerful gift to be able to receive from the universe, because that's exactly what I want, right? Like, that's exactly like yeah, sure, like I want people to be able to see my content, but I want to be able to create a space where each and every single one of you is stepping into that potential and reaching your guys' thing. Like, this community is super, super special for me. Like, all of the communities, I'm so grateful that we all have them, and now each of us has kind of become a nexus for our individual communities, which is part of the idea. Each of us is like our own individual portal to bring more people together, to ripple out a similar vibration. But again, it's funny because, like, I'm seeing it from my perspective, but I mean, to you guys, like, I can't fully know without being you what this community means to you, and that's the thing. Like, I feel for some of you, in the ways that you've grown as a result of it, it's just not that I need you to tell me, but it's always really meaningful to just kind of like see it expressed through your regular engagement and your growth and everything. And like, it's every now and then you guys will send me a message and you'll just be like, yeah, like, this community has changed my life. And I'm like, Really? Like yeah, it has. Like, okay, cool. That's exactly what we want. And again, to know that your community will change somebody else's life in the same way. It just keeps rippling out. But again, I'm just kind of gushing here and just kind of, I'm like almost crying right now, to be honest. Just Thanksgiving style. Like that's what we need, right? We need like a Thanksgiving like tradition where we just sit around the table and cry about how much we love each other. We'll just leave it up to a Cancerian to host us. Be like, everybody get your tissues ready. Okay, and now we're going to talk about how much we mean to each other. And okay, just let it out. All right, here we go. So anyways, okay. We'll pass it. Justine, did you want to go next? Is that still, we'll do that?
Yeah,
okay, go ahead, Justine. Jump right
down.
in. Yeah.
Thank you, by the way, for everything you do for us. I definitely count myself among the people who has really transformed through being in this community. Yeah, I see you. Zentia and Kristen are raising hands too on that one, and Amanda's nodding her. Basically, we're all here being like, thank you. So, you know, it's in the name of the day, at least for us Americans.
Don't thank
US
me.
people.
Thank the universe, I guess, right? Credit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really funny because like while you were talking, I've been shuffling for a while when the lovers flew out, and I was like, okay, I get it, guys.
Again.
Beat me over the head with it much. But
we'll just do a broadcast where it'll just be nothing but the lovers card, just read over and over with slightly different interpretations.
yeah, so the reading I want to do right now actually is something to grow on and something to glow on. So for me, when I talk about growth, I think that a big part of it is being brave enough to acknowledge our shadow, because all of our shadow is like our fear of separation. We only feel fear when we feel separate from the oneness of the universe. So how can we acknowledge that fear? It takes bravery to do that and accept it as just a signpost and nothing more. And then on the flip side, because we are one with the universe, that means we have the access to be whatever we want to be. And we have the power to use our gifts however we choose to. So yeah, I've been shuffling on that one, just sort of listening to everybody else's readings, giving it all of that good context. Somehow I have not given myself a paper cut. Thank you, Tarot deck. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and cut it now. Woo! And since this one was literally like slid into my hand, I'm going to go with that is the right stack to pick. So something to grow on. Are you kidding me? I pulled the Four of Swords.
Again?
Again. I've literally been shuffling for probably like 30-40 minutes. And then I pulled the Ace of Cups for something to glow on for us. So Four of Swords to grow on. I think it's really funny the number of repeat cards we've had tonight. So in the shadow interpretation, it says not recognizing the dangers of burnout, a need to spend time recovering, dedicating yourself and your energy to self-care. And the key word for the card is I give myself permission to slow down and heal. So this is something we can grow at, apparently. I'm not the only workaholic in this podcast right now. Anybody else who works on their spiritual work to rest from their other work, that doesn't count as rest. I mean, it can be regenerative, but you're still working. That's not resting. So rest and heal. Grow by resting and healing. Let me just skim this really quickly because it's kind of long. Heck, I'm just gonna read it. This deep resting period in your life marks a moment of intentional healing and self-care. More than just integral to your wellness, it is integral to your being at this time, body, mind, and spirit. How you heal is your choice, and you can find quiet regeneration through sleep or other restorative practices like meditation, journaling, energy healing, etc. Notice how it doesn't say working? Consciously decide to slow down and process before sprinting ahead. The hustle can be tumultuous and demanding, and the only person who can really direct your own radical recovery is you. Tend to your wounds, as you may be on the verge of burnout. Your nest will grow around you as you sleep, and the landscape of your life will shift beautifully as you fall into your own rejuvenating energy. In your dream state, you will transmute and transform your experiences and emerge renewed, whole, and ready to rise. But first, you must rest. Sweet dreams, sweet chickadee. So yeah, we've pulled this card a whole bunch of times tonight, but growing around our relationship to rest. Yeah. Self call out hugely
You
there.
mean we're allowed to rest?
Yeah, it turns out that working on a different thing is not what rest means. You're supposed to sleep and play, chill. Yeah, amazing. And like another thing that I think that this deck really points out beautifully with this card, like nuance to it, is like trusting your own self to say like, this is what is restorative to me. Like your self-care isn't somebody else's crystal practice or somebody's, I take a lot of Epsom salt baths. That's a thing for me. Like whatever your body says, like, hey, go eat a PB&J and take a nap. Like that's somebody in my family does that, Well, like whatever that is for you, you know what it is. We're adults here. You know what makes you feel rejuvenated. So just do that and don't let other people tell you, oh, you have to go to the gym and run a mile and whatever. Like just do you. And then something to glow on with Ace of Cups here. I like absolutely adore this card, and the way my lighting is, it actually kind of looks like it's glowing, that heart in the center. So the light side for Ace of Cups is about new connections, new romantic relationships, friendships, seeds of love and hope, newfound emotions, awakening the heart, joy, positive outcomes, oneness, bliss, and creativity. And the key phrase is, my heart is open and filled with love. And extremely positive messages of vibrant beginnings, the Ace of Cups marks the genesis of relationships, emotional connections, and deep feelings of love and friendship. Your emotions are powerful magic. Cultivate your ability to call on expansive, optimistic, and profoundly radiant feelings, and consciously send your heart waves out into the world. They will become powerful beacons for awakening new adventures, romance, and the effusive joy that you are calling into your life. Your capacity for love is expanding, so check in and make sure you aren't repressing your ability to connect with others as a result of being overly protective. Mindfully extend the love you feel to your own heart as well. Forgive yourself for past mistakes and find a fountainhead for healing. With copious amounts of self-acceptance, get ready to expand. Exciting affinities are emerging, and it's time to open up and give yourself permission to deepen your kinship with the life around you. So like, that song, like, how deep is your love? How deep is your self-love, y'all? Can you make it deeper? Can you be one with the like rivers of love permeating the universe around us? Let's all go deeper together and love ourselves more and forgive ourselves more and be more self-compassionate, because automatically, like whatever love and compassion and forgiveness you're giving yourself, that is going to permeate everybody around you, everything around you, every environment you're a part of. The classic example of like, why are you so happy at 8 o'clock in the morning? Be that person. Be that like obnoxious embodiment of universal love, compassion, and joy. And one more note, which has been a big lesson for me in 2020 that I feel compelled to share with y'all, is realizing that we actually have a lot of control to choose what our feelings are in any given moment. And if you've spent any time around like actors or acting school, like when somebody is like, all right, I'm gonna go act in this play, I'm gonna give a monologue, they take whatever practice they have to drop into an emotional state. And so it's not just like, oh, I'm gonna slam the door because the script said to. They're actually choosing to get angry in that moment or upset in that moment. And that doesn't just apply to like acting in a play. We actually can play in our lives and choose to be happy or joyful or compassionate or abundant or peaceful, in any given moment. And we actually, what my learning was over the course of this year so far has been, there is a certain responsibility once you're awake to that reality to go ahead and pick positive emotional states for yourself. Like at some point, it's like growing up, you have a responsibility to put food on your own table and shower yourself and brush your teeth and all that business. You actually have a responsibility to choose positive emotional states without bypassing the negative ones. So like if you feel a negative emotion, acknowledge it, experience it, and then say thank you next and go choose a different vibe for yourself that supports you having a beautiful, beautiful day and honors your connection to the universe as a whole.
Awesome.
That's all I got.
That's great. That's all we need. That's it. That was perfect. No, that was awesome. I love there's a really powerful phrase just on the theme of rest, and it's quite simple. It's if you get good at the rest, you'll get good at the rest.
Oh, I love that.
Meaning, like, if you get good at resting, you'll get good at the rest. Like, honestly, like, I think it's a lot of people, you know, they're just like, why aren't I accomplishing things? I've been working as much as I possibly can. It's like, because that's not actually, like, the real work is to be able to create the rhythm of, you know, showing up and resting and showing up and resting, and you create that cadence, like that, the breath to it. And even just there, Justine, I love that idea where, you know, maybe for those of us who are tuned into this, maybe this will be an invitation for us to start thinking about new ways that we haven't maybe explored yet for ways that we can rest, you know, like if anything, I would encourage people to perhaps kind of challenge their immediate go-to ways to rest, or at least to just be able to check in with them and just be like, is this the most like, is this the healthiest? And that's going to be a very subjective question where it's just kind of like, well, like, you know, like my usual form of resting is to just, you know, like, well, it's hard for me to say something here because I don't want to call myself out, but I was just going to say, like, to just like to
rest by scrolling on TikTok, and it's an unhealthy rest that I'm working on replacing.
Well, there you go. That's a good example there. Yeah, and I was literally gonna say, like, yeah, you know, like my rest is just like eating as much pizza as I can, and sometimes we do that. Sometimes we, and that's the thing. It's not that in itself is a problem, but it's just like, doesn't need to be the rest that we turn to every time. Like that's a very subjective question. So it's like, today maybe it is my pizza rest day. That sounds ridiculous, but maybe tomorrow my version of rest is going to be taking a walk out in nature, and maybe the next day it's taking a bath. So I think almost creating like a different, almost like a list of all the different ways that we can rest, and then kind of picking which ones might be the best. And again, it's really all of this stuff that we're talking about here. This is really about being able to cultivate more sovereignty and more responsibility and more consciousness and more awareness and ultimately more choice. And to be able to be responsible, to be able to make those choices for yourself. So if your rest is always to, you know, like rip a fat bong toke and sit on the couch and do that, but then you always do that, like eventually it's up to you, but you have to check in with yourself and maybe just kind of question, be like, are there other ways that I can perhaps rest? So it's not always the exact same thing every single time, because it's like, if you do something every single time, then it makes it harder to kind of shift into other gears. So you don't want yourself to become stagnant in one particular routine too much. Again, I guess that's relative, because maybe, you know, there's context to that, and that can also be turned in a positive way as well, where you start getting good at doing like the positive things, and actually you do want to be able to land in those frequently. But yeah, I like the idea that there's a lot of different ways to be able to rest as well. So that's really important. And Kristen, go ahead, jump in, and we'll just keep chatting for here, and then Aura's gonna do one more reading, and then we'll wrap it up after that. Kristen, go ahead.
Ooh, I just wanted to say thank you so much, Justine. I'm so grateful that you brought up the fact that like it's your choice to choose which vibrational energy you want to vibe with. Like, sure, bad things are going to happen, bad things, like things that are going to be uncomfortable or cause you to grow are going to happen in your life. But it's your choice to look at it from a place of, oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened. This is terrible. Or you can take a step back and look at it as, I'm grateful that this thing happened because this allowed me to grow, and just like choosing to align with the way that I like to put it is like, sure, it's the higher vibrational energy, but it's also like, what feels better? Does it feel good to feel like miserable and super unhappy and sad that you're in this situation? Or does it feel better to be like, no, I'm going to choose to see my power in this situation and connect with what I want to see for my own growth, and being able to see your power rather than just like really feeling like woe is me to wow is me, you know? So anyways, I just really wanted to say like, thank you so much for bringing that up, because that's one of my like biggest things that I always try to teach people is like, hey, it's your choice. You can totally choose to wake up every day and say, I'm going to have a great day. I'm going to have an amazing day. I'm going to choose to be happy, and I'm going to choose to be grateful, and I'm going to choose to live in that, you know, aligned path. And if something happens that knocks you out of alignment, then it's a way for you to see how to better align with your true nature. And so just having that gratitude attitude. But love you. Thank you so much. Beautiful.
That's awesome. Thanks, Kristen. I'll pass over. I wanted to just be able to say something. Khadaura, I'd be curious to just kind of hear your input on this, because this is something that I've kind of heard from like a few other like coaches, and even I was talking to Nathaniel about, and I'm not sure if you've gotten to hang out with Nathaniel much specifically, but even like Preston and stuff. But basically, again, kind of with Kristen was saying, like, yeah, I've talked about this before, but very briefly, I'll just say it here. When you're in a situation, there is a choice to either be able to see something from an empowering perspective or a disempowering perspective. Like that is the choice. So you can either be like, oh, you know, like this is a crappy situation, and you can still acknowledge that it's a crappy situation and still see it from an empowering perspective, where it's like, oh, this is a crappy situation that's teaching me how to be able to set new boundaries, how to be able to find my own courage, how to be able to shift my focus where need be, sort of thing. And I think the one thing that I'll just add into what Kristen says, where I think, yes, it is about waking up each day and making a choice to feel a certain way. In addition to that, it's also about being able to educate ourselves on how to be able to follow through with the actions that are going to support that choice. You know, so like that's the thing. It's like I'm going to be happy today, and then you just go do something and just like splurge your energy in a way that's not moving it towards that choice. Then you're going to kind of be in this place where it's like, but I made the choice to be happy today, but then I just didn't like fully, like I didn't, like, you need the additional actions to be able to help support that. And so that's where, again, and that's where I'll just pass over to Khadaura, where it's like, okay, I am making the choice to feel awesome today and for this to be a great day. And in order to be able to reinforce this choice, I am going to eat a good breakfast. I'm going to do some dancing first thing in the morning. I'm going to do a little bit of meditation. I'm going to do a little bit of journaling. I'm going to call up a friend and have a quick chat and pump each other up, right? So it's like these little things that support the choice, opposed to just thinking it's purely just the choice. Because I think some people, they'll be like to them, to just tell them it's a choice, but then to not tell them about how to reinforce that choice can be a little bit contradicting. They're like, what? That doesn't make sense. Like, choosing to be happy isn't going to get rid of my depression, you know? But choosing to be happy and then following through with the actions that are going to help move you towards that will alleviate and shift things as well. Khadaura, do you want to jump in on anything? Just go ahead, dude. Yeah.
So that kind of ties into like the law of attraction and the law of vibration and things like, and manifestation. What it is people are like, oh, I want to make $100,000. And I'm like, cool. What are you going to do? And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, you got to understand, like, you have your intent, which is the present, your intention, which is the future, and your attention is what you're paying attention to. So it's like your intention is to make $100,000, but it's like your intent is, what are you going to do now? Because when you ask the universe for something, you're literally projecting like an imaginary number or a level. You're saying like, universe, I want this. And the universe goes, that's 1,000, whatever, 1,000 levels of energy. And a lot of people just sit back and they're like, well, I'm just going to wait for it. And I'm like, well, it's not going to come to you. Again, everyone's waiting for that sign. And it's like, you are the sign. And it's like the universe is waiting for you to start doing stuff. So the universe goes, now I know that you actually want it. And this comes back to the rest that you were talking about. When we speak about with coaches and things like that, we get people to understand there's two types of people. We all hit overwhelm. This pandemic has been overwhelmed. You can either buckle down and get scared and cower and fear, or you can be like, no, people still need my gifts out there. I'm going to continue to share. And it happened a lot during the Black Lives Matter movement. People got really quiet because they were like, oh, well, I can't talk about tarot cards because it doesn't align with Black Lives Matter. And I'm like, no, people still need tarot readings. People still need to hear about the fae and things like that. So keep sharing. So it's very true within coaching. It's like people just want the things to come to them. They're not willing to work towards it. But also, like you were saying, we also have to remember when to rest. We cannot constantly be in like go, go, go mode. It's like, I got to do the things to get the things. And it's like, cool. But you also got to take a break. Sometimes you just get to sit back and be like, you know what? I'm just going to take a bath and eat a pizza today. And that's going to be my day. Because people are like, I wasn't productive today. And I said, what did you do today? And they're like, I just sat in the bathtub and I had pizza. Cool. You were super productive. You didn't burn yourself out. You're relaxed for a day. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. I love that idea of being able to redefine the notion that rest can be productive. Doing nothing can be productive, you know, in order to be able to recover. So always being able to kind of like see things beyond the present moment, where it's like, what's gonna be better for me to keep on pushing and then burn myself out for a week, or for me to rest for a day and then get back to it for the next week to come, sort of thing. So yeah, no, Khadaura, thank you so much for sharing, dude, as well. Anybody else feel like they want to jump in, and then we'll pass over to Fiona, and then we'll get close to wrapping this up from there. Okay, cool. Fiona, are you ready? Pass it over to you. Okay, cool. Fiona, passing it over to you. Go right ahead.
Okay, so just a little bit on what Khadaura said about the
Sorry,
rest.
Fiona, sorry, not just to interrupt you. Can you adjust your music? Because I think your music, it might be phasing the microphone. Like it's like kind of not picking you up because the music might be picking up.
I completely forgot I had this on. I thought it
Or
was
just lessen it a bit. It may or may not make a difference, but I just want to double check.
Okay, yeah. Is that okay?
I think that does fix it a little bit. Yeah, go right ahead.
Okay, yeah. So what Khadaura was saying about resting, I find myself so many times planning to have done something. Like, let's say tomorrow I have all these plans, and then my energy levels aren't there. And so I go through the day attempting to do things, but then I'm in it and I'm not really in it, and I'm in it and I'm not really in it. And then the whole day passes me by, and I have this immense guilt and shame because I'm like, I didn't use this day properly. When in reality, it was a rest day, but it wasn't optimized because I had all these plans to do stuff. So that's the worst position, when you're like, that was a rest day, but it didn't feel like it because now I'm in this like self-judgment place for not using the rest day properly. So just to plan your rest days, at least 2 a week, where you do nothing, so that you wake up on a Wednesday, if that's your rest day, and you're like, oh, today I do nothing, so that you know you're not in that like, should I do something today, should I not? Anyways, so as everyone was talking, I pulled 3 cards. And it's crazy because these cards shot right out. And the first card, I don't know who this message is for, but it definitely applies to me. So I hope this applies to you guys too. The first card that I pulled is the 3 of Swords in reverse, okay? So this card is all about self-sabotage. This is all about judgment, self-judgment. And okay, reverse is about negative self-talk. Oh my gosh. So you see how there's a sword that's like piercing your own heart? That's your own voice. That's your voice being like, you suck, you suck, you suck. So when you're telling yourself you suck, now what's happening? Other people are jabbing your heart too, and you're letting it happen because it started here, right? It started here. So this is all about obviously pulling out the dagger and believing in yourself, believing that you don't need to talk to yourself that way. You can do little affirmations every single day to rewire your brain and recircuit your mind, okay? What's insane about this, I still have more to say about this card, but what's insane about this, I did 3 shuffles and another card flew out, and that is the 7 of Swords, also reversed, but this is crazy. So, and then I did a little bit of research on what this card is, and it is reversed. It's imposter syndrome. So in the middle of working on reprogramming your mind, what's going to come up? Imposter syndrome. You're going to be like, no, who am I to think I'm a badass? I'm a spiritual badass, a boss babe, an amazing dancer. Who am I to think that? Absolutely not. That's disgusting. And then your old paradigms, old thoughts and stuff are going to come into place, and you're going to be like, no, that's not you. Who are you trying to fake? Absolutely not. This card is telling you it's going to happen. As soon as you try to rewire your brain, you will have imposter syndrome. It's part of the process of rewiring your brain, okay? Literally, like, you're going to have these little voices being like, don't do this. Just go back to the way you were yesterday. Not good enough. And that's your negative self-talk. This is all you. Okay? So a little bit about the imposter syndrome. It's self-deceit. It's not trusting in others. Yeah, just having like really, really, really low self-esteem, not trusting in others. And then the last card that I pulled just to end that all off is a beautiful card. I pulled it upright, nothing funky. Is this beautiful, beautiful card. How nice is this deck, by the way? All the visuals are so beautiful. It's called the Gilded Tarot deck. This is what it looks like. If you guys are interested, it's gorgeous. So I pulled this beautiful, beautiful card, the Three of Cups, which is abundance, but most specifically, collaboration with others. You see that? How your cup is full. If you, oh my God, I didn't even realize this right now. Look at this. How the similarities in the three. At first, you're being cut yourself. This is you cutting your own heart. And then the other knives are going into your heart. But when you do the work and you realize there's a little imposter in you that will bring up your shadow, okay? Do so much shadow work, journaling out your mind, then you're going to have a full cup, and everyone who you thought was daggering you was just a reflection of you. Now you're realizing that they can fill you up with so much if you just open your cup, okay? Open your heart, take the dagger out, do lots of shadow work, and believe in yourself. What it comes down to is don't believe the thoughts that will be there telling you you're not good enough, telling you, no, don't post that video. It's stupid. No, post the video. You have no idea how your voice in that moment could reach one person, and that one person's like, oh my God. And then you create that ripple effect. So, right, that whole reading was that you are your biggest barrier. And the minute that you realize that, we realize that, blessings will flow. And people will want to fill up your cup because you believe in your cup. That's it. That's the reading. I hope that resonated, you guys. That was crazy. That synchronicity of the dagger in the heart with the two daggers. And then at the end, I didn't even realize the cup and the two cups. That's insane. That's wild. That's wild.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Aura, thank you so much. Anybody want to jump in? Anything? Khadaura, go right ahead, dude.
Yeah, I feel like that is actually like all three cards are literally our journey in life that we repeat over and over. We have those moments where we start beating ourselves up, and then we lead into that moment where we're like, who am I? I am this new person, and no one believes in you. That's not who you were last month or the last year. So you're like, oh my God, I'm an imposter. Who am I to try to be a life coach? Who am I to be a spiritual healer? Who am I to dance? And eventually you get to the point where it comes to your cup. And I think this is where a lot of people also get a little bit more lost. And this will be a coaching moment. A lot of us are giving from this empty cup that we have right now. And we're like, I'm a healer. The universe gave me all this. So I need to do all this and this and this. And I can't monetize my business. But in reality, you have to remind yourself that the money that you're taking is just energetic currency. And it's like, we can't actually give to the world until we have a cup that's overflowing. So for anyone watching this, if you are someone that's like in the business and your spirituality is your business, remember that you have to first fill your cup up before you can just give and give and give, or else you're giving from the empty cup. You will burn yourself out. You will have regrets. You will have resentment. And everyone that saw you as a hero may see you as a villain when you pull back and you disappear because you're no longer on social media. You're taking that month-long social media break and you're blaming everyone else when in reality it's you. You gave away too much. So those three cards are definitely the journey for all of us healers and coaches and spiritual beings in this field.
Absolutely. Yeah. And even for those like, yeah, like beyond the field, it's always relative. It's always relative. And again, and it's not always going to be, you know, like I know a lot of people that kind of, they've heard this idea that you can't love others until you love yourself. But I think sometimes you learn to love yourself by showing up for others. So without feeling, because I know some people, they're kind of like, they have this kind of like hesitancy to be able to be like I'm not ready for that. Like I can't get into this relationship. I'm not ready for my twin flame yet because I'm not fully healed. And then they'll create all these stories. But I think again, you know, if you feel called to help people, then try it. Try it like without having to do it indefinitely, but you try it, you listen, you feel how you feel, and then you step back when you need to, and then you make some adjustments and you re-engage and you begin to find the rhythm, and you begin to find, you begin to learn, and you begin to find where your boundaries are, and you begin to find a way that works for you. But yeah, I agree where, yeah, like it's about being able to find that important balance, but understanding that absolutely, like I think one of the most healing things, it's kind of one of those things where honestly for me right now, and stay tuned because I want to be able to share this with you guys a little bit more in the future, especially with December coming up around the corner, to be able to, you know, next week our podcast is going to be on mental wellness in COVID times. And so I mean, a lot of what we're talking about here kind of bleeds into that, even though this right now, this isn't a podcast technically, like this won't be on Spotify, this is us just hanging out here as practice. But one of the things that I was going to say is that, you know, I think all of us are kind of going through phases where there are going to be certain days where they're going to feel a little bit heavier than others. And I think all of us have like a version of COVID depression or something. All of us are carrying like this collective like angst and depression and animosity and frustration and everything like that. And for me, where again, you know, it's just kind of opposed to just being in that space and being like, okay, yeah, you know, if I feel this way, then I shouldn't be showing up for the community and everything like that. If anything, like sometimes your rawness and your realness is exactly what the community needs. But then at the same time, if you're just like, for me, this is where I actually am really, really feeling called to go out and start doing some more shiftivism around my city. And by shiftivism, I mean things like in the past, it would have been like free hugs, obviously, and handing out shift buttons. I'm not so much going to be doing that right now because I'm not looking to like totally like polarize people. But what I want to be able to do is literally create like new signs that say like either free air hugs or free smiles or just some sort of like word and phrase that really speaks to people's heart, because it's not so much the hugs itself that are the most important thing. The hugs are just the medium for the message, and the message can still be expressed without the hugs. But my point is kind of going back to what I was originally talking about, following up on Khadaura, where for me it's just like, yeah, you know what, like I do feel like a little bit of depression every now and then throughout the week. It literally kind of comes and goes. There are certain days where I just feel it, but then at the same time it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, one of the things that for me, and I've experienced this way in the past, helping other people is is a really, really powerful way to be able to kind of like alleviate the depression that you may be feeling. You know, to go out of your way and to give and to act from kindness and to act from heart and to act from compassion and to synchronistically be in those spaces where you pushing through that little bit of a drudge to be able to say like, you know what, I'm going to get out there. I'm going to stand on that street corner and I'm going to smile at people and I'm going to do this. And then you get those people and you see them responding to you and you see how it lights them up and you get that engagement and you're just like, whoa, like this is exactly where I need to be. And it's okay that I'm not quote unquote 100%, because again, I think it's being able to, and this is a very, very powerful message, to be able to understand that whatever you are feeling in any given moment is perfect, because there is a message alongside whatever it is that you are feeling. And so for us, our job is to just cultivate the consciousness, cultivate the awareness, so that we're there to be able to interpret how we are feeling, to be able to learn, to be able to see, to be able to heal, to be able to express. And yeah, you know, for everybody here, I really just want to be able to invite everyone to really bring in this theme of kindness and acts of kindness with them into December into this season. This is, let's all be, you know, like Santa's little elves and go out there and do these little gestures and document it and share it. This is really, really something that, you know, for me, it's always been a big part of what I've done on social media. And you guys can, I'm sure you guys can imagine where, you know, my friends, like, they joke about that. They're like, okay, yeah, like, yep, pandemic, everything like that. And be like, how's, you know, like, I wonder how Brendon's doing. You know, this is the guy who is known for doing free hugs. Be like, how's Brendon doing right now? Like, he's probably like, and you know what? To be honest, I didn't, throughout this entire pandemic, I never really like fully sat with the idea of just being able to kind of like really just be like, well, I guess I can't do free hugs anymore. I just kind of compartmentalized it. I'm just gonna kind of be like, yeah, I got other stuff I'm gonna do. And then, you know, but now I'm really just feeling this call inside of me. And it's like, even though I won't necessarily be doing free hugs, I mean, I'll still hug people if they want to be able to hug me. I'm not, like, they'll do it. I'm just not going to be the person that's standing there with a sign that says free hugs because I don't want to piss people off. I'm working on finding the middle ground where I can still accomplish the intention to be able to express kindness and unity and joy and consciousness and to be able to bring people together. And those who want to hug, they can hug. Like, seriously, I'll just tell you guys a quick story. Literally today, I was doing some errands and then I was coming back across the intersection and there was this is actually really trippy and this is almost, I'll just share this and then we'll just go around the circle once more and then we'll wrap it up here. But this is really, really powerful. I was walking through the intersection and there was a guy who is like on the island in the middle of the intersection, and it's I don't want to call him just a homeless guy, but it's a fellow who is not like as fortunate as many of us and was panhandling. And this guy, I'm friends with him. Like, we're not like friends on Facebook, but I'm friends with him. I've seen him many times over the years, and I've always gone out of my way to be able to talk to him. And so this is the first, I have not seen him in years. Like, I've not seen him in years at least. But this is the trippy part. This guy, when I first met him, he was in a wheelchair and he had like accidents and everything like that. Like, he lost the use of his legs. When I saw him today, he was walking. Like, he was literally walking, like he was still panhandling through traffic and stuff like that. But here I am just kind of with this thought in my mind where, you know, a lot of us, we're in this situation of 2020 and we're just like, this is the shittiest year of my life. This is the crappiest year of my life. And then you have this other story. It's like, meanwhile, where all of us are going through our own challenges, here you have this other person who over the past course of this last year has literally regained the mobility of their legs. And to them, I can only imagine what that means to them and the significance of that is for them. So it's like, you know, it's always going to be relative where, you know, each of us are going through and growing through challenges. And just for me to be able to kind of like see this where it's like, whoa, here we are growing and we're doing it in our own way. And here this guy is my friend, and he has grown so much even in the midst of these unusual circumstances and everything. It really just kind of put things into perspective where it's like, yeah, you know, don't do your best to be able to make sure that by the time New Year's comes around that you are not looking back on 2020 with animosity. Like look back on it with love, look back on it with compassion, because we'll probably do like a 2020 like year like wrap up episode or something like that. I haven't fully decided, but I mean, yeah, like this, as challenging as this year has been, this in some ways, you know, knowing that the universe does exactly what it needs to do, this is exactly what we needed. It's brought us together. It's brought us into our power. It's brought us into our ability to show up for each other as community. If it wasn't for this, we'd probably all still be kind of ingrained into other forms of distraction and everything. This pulled us away and it caused us to refocus and everything like that. Again, I'm just kind of saying the obvious. I think you guys already know about this. But yeah, I really just want to be able to encourage people to know that they don't have to have it's great to be able to fill your cup, but even if your cup isn't fully full, your act of giving also allows you to receive. So that's kind of the thing. Like, that's one of the secrets of the universe. When you give, you also receive as well. When you're giving in a place, like relatively speaking, but again, you receive the acknowledgement, the support, the look in someone's eyes where it's just kind of like, whoa, you know, like even if I just made one person smile, it was worth it. And I remember doing that times where I would be out there doing free hugs, and I'd be out there for a while and I might only get like maybe like 2 or 3 hugs. And even then I'm like, it was worth it. because that's who needed those hugs in those moments, be it 2 or 3 people or be it 300 people, whatever it may be. And then when you really just show up in that way, it's a powerful way. So yeah, for everybody here, if you guys feel called to maybe make your own signs with like free air hugs or free smiles, and go stand on a street corner and wave at cars and smile, and put a Santa hat on, that's what I'm going to be doing this December. So please feel free to join along. So anyways, a little sidetrack from tarot. Does anybody else just want to be able to go in with some closing thoughts, and then we'll wrap things up here? Zentia, I'll pass over to you. Go right ahead, Zentia.
I just wanted to kind of piggyback off of the last reading here with the cards. Three of Swords, from my perspective, is very the imposter syndrome with the Three of Swords is so powerful. In love, when you see those cards, this is a person who knows they love someone, but they're in denial about it. So when it shows up in the cards, when you see Seven of Swords, you can often think that someone's trying to get away with something, but that self-deception is what's reading out there. It's like you can see a relationship, and you can see with Three of Cups, that could be a third-party situation if you have it next to Three of Swords with Seven of Swords. In the reverse, as you were saying, lifting out that sword, letting the swords finally come out, and realizing, damn, I love this person. Like let me cut this nonsense out. And then you go to the Three of Cups with celebration, the joy of actually getting out of that imposter syndrome, because in love it's very easy to be an imposter because we don't want to get hurt at the end of the day, or you've been hurt before. And just the Three of Swords being there by itself lets you know there was a heartbreak to get over in the begin with. So when you see it upside down, I think it's a really happy moment, because you've reached a point where that pain is like, you know what, enough. I can, I'm not doing this anymore. And with the Seven of Swords next to it, you're really saying enough is enough. And then you move the Three of Cups, like enough is really enough. I'm happy about this. Like, I love me, or I love him, or I love her, and I'm gonna sing it to the universe and celebrate and raise a glass to the sky. So that was a beautiful message that you gave. I just wanted to say that, yes, and raise our cups for Thanksgiving. I'm so grateful for this community, Brendon. I know we keep saying it. We're gonna keep saying it to you over and over again, because it's changed my life so much, so fast. And I'm gonna say I would not have dreamed of meeting people like you, people that in this community a couple months ago. 2020 has been like, what, who, when, where, and how. And I found grounding here. I found a home and a place to share my tarot. And all of this is still acknowledged that I've been racking up for all these years and dying to talk to people about. I couldn't take it anymore. So thank you guys. And thank you everybody who's joining our tarot. And I had so much fun. I really hope we get to do this again.
Awesome. Thank you, Zentia, so much. Beautiful. All right, team, let's just keep passing around. If you guys just want to share any just closing gratitude, thankfulness, or any other message that you feel called to share for the team, please, by all means. Okay, we'll pass over to Kristen, and then Amanda, and then anybody else after that, and we'll be wrapped up here in less than 10 minutes. Go ahead, Kristen.
Beautiful. Thank you all for being absolutely beautiful, divine reflections of each other and of yourselves as well. It's so beautiful to be able to show up and see you guys grow and see ourselves grow and share this like oneness with each other. And Brendon, like, I'm just gonna like continue the shout out train. Like, thank you so much for the space that you provide. I cannot believe some days I wake up and I'm just like, wow, this is my life. Like, I'm living it, and it's just so beautiful to know that I have the support of you amazing, beautiful souls, and to be able to show up and support you as well. It really is just absolutely beautiful and heart filling. And so I just wanted to extend my gratitude and say that I'm thankful for each and every one of you, beautiful, amazing souls, and everything that you do each and every day, whether it's like you feel like maybe you didn't show up in the way you thought you should, like everything you did that day was exactly what it needed to be. And I just thank you for it and for having the bravery to show up in whatever way works best for you, because I know some days it's not always easy. And I think you're pretty brave for stepping up and doing it. So I love you guys. Thank you. And Brendon, thank you for this tarot space, because this is like a little bit of a dream come true for me. So thank you.
It's awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Kristen. Yeah, no, thank everybody here for making this dream come true. This is really really cool, and I'm really happy with how it's gone, and we'll do more of these for sure. So, Amanda, go ahead. I'll pass it over to you, and then anybody else after that. Go ahead, Amanda.
So I'm gonna jump on that train as well, because I've grown so much since finding you and joining the team and meeting everybody else, and it's just opened me up ridiculously. I wouldn't have been able to do this even 6 months ago, and I was ridiculously uncomfortable all night, but I made it through, and you guys provided this safe space for me, even though I've been holding my comfort Yoda all night. But you guys just made this a lot easier on me and made it possible that I could actually do this. So I appreciate all of you, and I love everyone. And this has been like an awesome second Thanksgiving.
Awesome, beautiful. Yeah, maybe this could become like a tradition or something. You know, like Thanksgiving tarot, team tarot, or something like that. So yeah, I like that idea. Beautiful, awesome, Amanda and Amanda. Thank you so much, and absolutely, I'm so just grateful for just being able to see you stepping into. Again, into a little bit outside of your comfort zone, but literally like leveling up here together. So you did great tonight. Beautiful, awesome. All right, and again, you know, team, I really love the idea of, and Kristen kind of said this, where it's like, yes, it's great to be able to wake up and to feel supported, but then it's also awesome to be able to wake up and to feel the joy of supporting others. Like that's the thing. Like there's actually like a joy. It's a very, very particular joy. Not a lot of people are familiar with it because we don't practice it a lot, of going out of your way to support and celebrate and lift up others. So again, we do this a lot in our community, and I'm so grateful and just continuing to do it. So again, you know, for everybody here tuned in, please go ahead, direct message the people that you've seen on air today, send them a message of gratitude, comment on their things, let them know that they're seen, let them know that they're heard, and then we continue to ripple this out even further. So lead by example, show others how to do the same. Who wants to jump in next on the Thanksgiving train? Thanks, gratitude. Toot, toot. Anyways, sorry. Who wants to jump in next? I mean, yeah, if you Khadaura, go right ahead, Khadaura. Yeah.
I do remember, Brendon, for like a while you kept messaging me. You were like, jump on the thing, and I'm like, I don't have time. You always pick Thursday. And I was like, ah. And then 11/11 came around, and it was like a day that I actually had time because it wasn't a Thursday. And I remember just sitting there, and it was just such a weird day. And I was like, I don't have anything else to do. I'll jump on for an hour. 6 hours later, it was so exciting because it was like most of my day is just coaching. I literally coach all day long, every day of the week. And it was so nice to be able to talk about spirituality and not do the coaching thing. So this is actually rest for me because I come from the military where I work 16 plus hours almost every single day, didn't have weekends, didn't have vacation. So I love this space. I'm grateful to be in this space. I love every single one of you. And I will definitely show up to as many of these as I can. I came to Austin to shift everything. And now that I'm here, I have a lot more control over my time. So I was like, okay, I can jump on a lot more things. So I'm looking forward to November, December in the future within this community as well. So much love to you all.
That's so cool. I love that, Khadaura, and absolutely, like a big part of the intention of this space, you know, for us on the call and the people who are tuned in, is to be able to create this helix where we come back and we use this sacred space to be able to like charge our spiritual batteries. And then from here, we'll go out and we'll do our own things. You know, we'll have an awesome weekend. Then we'll come back next week and we'll keep rocking it. Like, honestly, I feel like that's, in order to be able to continue to just kind of keep that consistency, it's important to be able to have that rhythm of community connection where we're not always depending on each other, but we are making a habit of being able to come back in, check in, celebrate, and be able to create that next intention for what it is. And yeah, like, seriously, team, like this has been such a huge year, and you know, we got one more month left to really be able to kick it off, and we got a full moon right around the corner as well, so that's really exciting. And yeah, we're gonna just keep bringing this energy, and I'm really excited to see what it is that, you know, we're gonna keep creating here together as a team. So it takes a team to shift the paradigm. So each and every single one of you. So again, this is like, on the surface, this looks like us, just a bunch of TikTok creators and stuff doing tarot. On the esoteric level, it's actually a secret team of spiritual superheroes coming together to change the world. Ah, ha, 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 ha. And Yoda is actually the true mastermind behind it all. Ah, ha, 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 ha. Who would have known? So anyways, okay, anybody else want to just be able to jump in, closing gratitude, and then we'll get close to wrapping it up, and Justine and then Abbey. Okay, go ahead, Justine. Yeah.
I just want to say thank you so much to each and every one of you here with us now on air, here with us at any point live, here with us at any point in the future via YouTube. Like, thank you so much for being interested in all of this stuff, and for being committed to like doing something about it. I just, I see the divine in you, and I honor that part of you, and we're all part of the divine, and I just have so much love and gratitude. Like, my cup is full right now. I don't know about y'all. So happy Thanksgiving.
Beautiful. Yeah, no, it's exactly what we're talking about. Like, this is how we fill our cups, by sitting around the turkle. A turkle? What did I just say? A circle. A table and a turkey and a circle. It's a turkle. And that's what we're doing. This is Team Turkle Tarot. So anyways, I don't know. I'm drunk off love right now. That's all right. So we're almost done here. It's just a little bit further. We're almost there. Okay. No, it's so important though. Like, that's what we do. Like, literally, like, we are like these like energetic beings, and when we come together and we rub our fields up against each other, it creates like this like energy buildup, and we embody it, we feel it, and we live it, and we carry it with us. So no, it's really, really beautiful. Abbey, do you want to pass it over to you next? Yeah. Okay. Go right ahead, Abbey, when you're ready.
So grateful and thankful for everyone, as I've said. And I just wanted to say good job, Amanda, for stepping out of your comfort zone. It's so hard, and it just shows when I heal, you heal. I'm stepping out of my comfort zone, you're stepping out of your comfort zone at the same time, and it's synchronized. Yeah. And it's just proved that we're all connected. So just continue to heal and eat a piece of pie and enjoy your day and your weekend. And thank you, everyone, again. Cup is full.
Oh man, I want some pie. So okay, that's all right. Thank you, Abbey, and yeah, no, it's really, really cool to be able to like see, people, like, again, like, I love that the team is, we're a variety of creators. Some of us are well established, some of us are just getting started, but we're all growing. And to be able to, that phrase that I go back to, as the water rises, so does every ship. So Abbey and Amanda, I like that you two are kind of sharing this special connection where both of you are at a similar point where it's like, we're still just getting into this, but you got each other to be able to help support and the rest of the team here as well. So no, it's really, really cool. Abbey, again, great, special shout out to you, Abbey, and thank you again for leading the team meditation this morning as well. That was really, really great. So for everybody here, if you guys haven't yet, Abbey on Instagram, abs.archive, and check out the team meditation, and stay tuned for future meditations that Abbey will be doing, plus awesome dance parties. Stay tuned for more dance parties. Like that's the thing, right? Like, by the time, flash forward, by the time we're in 2021, you, as in everybody here, leading members, you as a collective will be like hosting these regular events. There will be like parties every single week, literally. Like, it won't just be whatever I'm organizing. You'll be hosting a party, and you'll be hosting a party, and you'll be hosting a discussion, and there'll be so many opportunities because there's so many more people to reach. Khadaura, did you want to jump in with something? Your mic's open right now. No. Okay, cool. Just double checking. Okay, cool. Anybody else want to be able to jump in with any closing thoughts or anything like that? Aura, you're good? That's cool. Oh, yeah. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, I could definitely just say thank you guys so much for holding this space and connecting with everyone. It's so powerful. And what's so interesting is we're all going on our own individual journeys, right? So when we see or hear what another person is struggling with, and you bring that here in like a careful and safe environment, it opens us up to doing that work for humanity too. So thank you for your vulnerability and sharing what you're struggling with, because then it really gives, like, as creators, we all are, it gives us ideas for content to how to help and raise the vibration of the planet. So thank you so much for your vulnerability. It's really, it's incredible. That's how we stay connected, right? So thank you so much for tonight. It was really fun. And this whole like tarot template, like the way we did it, so chill and laid back. I love it. It's so cool.
Beautiful. Awesome. Thank you again, Aura. And again, just to be able to conclude the broadcast, that's everybody, right? Yeah, we went through everybody. Okay, cool. And shout out again to those of the people who were in here earlier, had to leave earlier. But thank you again to those of you who are in the YouTube chat and those of you who may be listening to this in the future. Again, I've mentioned this before, but like that is a form of participation. You've received this energy, you've absorbed this wisdom. There's something that you heard, that there was something that resonated with you, and then you get to continue to bring the shift with you, to be able to bring this energy out with you even further. So tell them about the love that we are creating here. Tell them about the turkles. Tell them about the shift, whatever it is. So anyways, okay. All right. I think we're about ready to be able to wrap up this broadcast. So just as again, a huge thank you, everybody here. Stay tuned. Next week's podcast is going to be on mental wellness in COVID time. So for each and every single one of you here, if you guys are able to join in for that, please feel free. That's going to be a super important part, important discussion. And again, like even me, like just when I'm choosing these topics, again, you know, we're in this era where it's hard for me to fully map out like months in advance of topics. It's really one of those things where it's just like, what is needed, like on a week-to-week basis. Like it's okay if you don't know what you're going to do 3 weeks. Focus on today, focus on this week. But yeah, for me, going through my own stuff, as I can equally admit, as we all are, this is again, the fact that we notice that yes, things are challenging is also bringing us together. It's forcing us to work together. We need each other. It is non-negotiable. So let's use this as a powerful opportunity to be able to share wisdom, to support, and to be able to help continue to show up within our hearts for ourselves and the collective. So next Thursday, December 3rd, 8 p.m. EST, that will be the Mental Wellness in COVID Times podcast. So be sure to tune in for that. Again, this one's not going to be on Spotify, so this is just a YouTube broadcast because this is just like a special thing, but we'll definitely do more of it. Be sure to check out the links for all the creators. I'll put those into the show notes of a little bit after this broadcast, but a lot of them were posted into the info as well. Khadaura on Instagram is It's Khadaura. Justine is 5D aligned. Aura Vibin is Aura Vibin. Abbey is abs.archive. Amanda is Angel_1778. Zentia Infinite 369, and Kristen is Pinocchio Horizons. I'm getting good at this. I'm like literally remembering everyone's handles. That's pretty good. So okay, cool. And me, Mystic Spider-Man. That's cool. That's a person too. All right, and again, if you guys want to be able to get involved with these team broadcasts that we do, be sure to check out the Patreon that I've got, and that's where you can join as a leading member. And at the $11, that's where you can sign up and get involved and be a part of these weekly podcasts. Get involved with the further access to our Discord and all the other things to be able to help support you as conscious media creator. And if you haven't yet, you're welcome to connect to our Discord, and the link for that is in the info for this video, and you can find the other creators on the server there as well. So does anybody else feel like they need to say any last thing before we wrap it up? Otherwise, we'll finish this up and then go eat some. I wish I had some pie to eat right now, but that's okay. I'll just meditate on it. So gonna have to get some pie tomorrow. Anyways, okay. All right, team. We are ready to conclude this broadcast. So for everybody here, just gonna bring you guys all up on panel view. Let's make some noise, send some love to all the amazing people who are joined in tonight. So go ahead, everyone, say goodnight. So we love you guys. We love you. Gobble, gobble, gobble.
Gobble, 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 gobble.
Beautiful.
We love you.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Keep it shifty and welcome to the future. Much love.